Weird.
Alright.
Evaporate steam.
You can't evaporate steam, no. Alright. Hello everybody, welcome to Crabby D&D. I apologise for the technical issues we had. They were wonderful technical issues. As you know, these things happen. But it's fine, we're all sorted now. So, I am here with my players, Jambie.
Hi.
Harlan. Still be right back, okay. Sudz.
Greetings.
Infernal. Still on the phone, wonderful. Simon.
Hello.
And new Jambie.
Hello.
Okay. 4 out of 6 ain't bad. I can live with that.
I thought it was 2 out of 3, but I mean it's the same proportion, so I'll roll with it.
You're not wrong, but in accuracy there are 6 of you, so 4 out of 6 would be the accurate proportion to use.
I'm only half a person.
Yeah, me too. I'm quite short.
Okay, so
So
what?
4 out of 4?
No,
Did
3.
we get it?
No, because if they're half people each, it's 3 out of 6. So we got half our crew here at the moment.
Wait.
All right. Yeah, we're still waiting for them to get back from their little adventures. Just because we're having technical issues. So, plan to what you want to do here, or how you're planning to
Run
do.
away.
I'm gonna run away screaming.
Okay, good,
Run away.
wonderful. Good luck.
I'm so tempted to do what I mentioned on the chat.
What do you mean, good luck? We've not gone down there yet. If I just push everyone down there with my no strength and run away,
Yeah.
Use cat as a meat shield.
That sounds good.
that's like the worst possible thing to do.
Hey, 10 bonus hit points are 10 bonus hit points. Am I right?
They are.
Just keep making characters till you get to level 3.
That's literally. Oh my god! Just cat. I just changed the first letter of it, so the next one's gonna be fat.
Bat,
Bat.
Bat.
that, tat,
Tat.
pat,
At.
nat, that.
Flat.
Hat.
Rat.
No,
Sat.
3 letters. We can't go to a 4th.
We could go for rat. Rat's not bad.
I would never call a character rat.
Cat's
Yes.
Cat's twin sister, Rat.
How have I not
Terrified
known
of it.
about this?
You were so terrified that you lost your memory about who this person was.
Exactly.
What you did was you got really terrified when Rat tried to get onto your back, and so you kicked out and splattered.
And
your
splattered your twin.
It's fine.
your
I'm
twin
just gonna
sister.
create a new spell called mitosis. I'll just slowly double.
Your toe cyst. Ew. So.
Oh, that's horrific. I'm eating, and that's not right. Oh.
Perfect.
I can't unsee. Wonderful.
Oh my
No.
god. It's a Mario. Chris Pratt.
So. Are we all sitting comfortably?
Not even a little bit.
No, but I'm
Very
gonna.
uncomfortably.
Okay. Well, the only
Our
person we're
first
missing at the
popcorn.
moment is Infernal, so he'll just have to miss out. It's not like he missed the whole last session anyway, so it's fine. What? 2 on the nose?
Ooh. Oof.
Oof, yeah. Welcome back, everyone. Good to see you're all rested up, ready for round 2. After all, you are on a timer now. But that's beside the point. And nothing for you to worry about now. Cat, Damian, Kay, Lloyd, Romulus, and, of course, Vinny. After your little misunderstanding with the Plague Knights, you rested, came to the decision to head to the old distillery, which hadn't been fully in use for the past few months, and was now burnt to the ground thanks to said Plague Knights. Upon arrival, you discovered some rather unusual findings, including a singed but not burnt down trapped door that led down into an apparently hidden basement. Upon waving the leafcutter's brooch over the top of the trapdoor, it relaxed, relieved of its strain for whatever was holding it in place. As Kay and Vinny, you two pulled the doors open, seeing down the slick-lined steps and into the otherwise ooze-coated chamber where a large cystic ooze rested in the centre of the chamber, with 3 elven Jambies within its wobbling form, their necks snapping to look at each of you. Okay. I would like everyone to roll for initiative for me, please, as we get started here.
Please roll double figures. Please roll double figures. Please roll double figures.
Please roll low so that I can go get my food that's just arrived.
My dear.
19.
It's
Damn
better
it.
than previous. It is double figures, but not after modifications.
Ah.
Are you able to hear Crab Bud, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, you were singing along to it earlier.
that was
Yeah, I can hear it.
a mispress.
I've got a 16.
I have a 19.
Why is that not picking it
Hello,
up?
guys.
That one was
yes.
not rolled. This
That's
one
going to be
was
fun,
rolled.
Cat. You
Oh, I know.
Hey,
I know why I'm looking at the wrong one.
What did you get, Jambie?
I'm turning it up and thinking
Crippling
it's...
depression.
Yay!
I'm turning it up thinking it's not on when actually no, I was looking at my microphone volume. That would be why. Alright, so let's go back to the one that I was wanting to use. Realizing it's not actually quiet, it's just me being an idiot reading the devices. Alright.
Yay!
Can't wait to hear what Infernal's initiative roll was.
Yep. Infernal, you here? That would be a no. Okay. Well.
Someone roll for him?
Yeah, someone roll for him. Roll badly
I'll roll.
for me. Yeah. If you...
Alright.
3.
There you go.
Alright. And he's got a... -1.
+1.
Right,
Oh.
I'll be back in a moment.
Alright, well
I
that...
gave him too much credit.
That put Lloyd's at 2. Yeah, you did give him too much credit. It's fine. And they go there, I believe.
Just to let you know, Chris,
Mhm.
this one was the one that I rolled, but I accidentally hit the button after it landed, and it moved to a 1, but it was a 9.
That's fine. Okay, so 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
28.
Oh,
Nice.
just out of the darkness, Vinny goes 28. Oh no. Alright. 20 to 15?
Hope you're enjoying scimitars.
9 poom.
15 with nimble footwork.
19, 15 with nimble footwork.
Yeah, nimble.
10 to 5.
Oh, yes, that'd be me. I'm on an 8.
You're an 8. Okay. And your Plague Knight buddy gets that. Okay. And did anybody catch Romulus's before he went to get food?
Did he say 16?
I think he said 16. He
Yeah, I
got the
think he said
14 plus 2.
I will
Yeah.
put 16 question mark. Okay.
No, he did get 16 because he got what I'd rolled.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Right. So, in which case, top of the round, Vinny. Let me show you what you can see.
I need a tile for this.
Shelves. Ooh.
Inside the darkness, as you otherwise are looking down into it, with the light from the mace of your Plague Knight buddy behind you, kind of casting your silhouette and shadow down across the slick steps below, you see down in the centre of the chamber what looks to be one large ooze, very much attached to the ground itself, with almost these veins buried into the stonework itself, as it pulses and otherwise undulates in place, as the 3 forms on the inside almost quiver and otherwise their heads snap, looking towards you, as you immediately realise the threat in place. Okay. What would you like to do? You are currently on this tile here at the same time. Oh yeah, you need his.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Okay, so that lines up with the stairs. Okay.
Yeah, these 2 tiles here canonically line up perfectly with these 2 tiles here.
Right. Cool. I feel bad for wasting a high initiative roll, but I don't particularly want to charge in because I don't have an easy way to get back out. Oh wait, no, I can. As long as it can't engulf me, I can just run back away from this thing, can't I? No, I can't. Okay.
If it doesn't make an attack of opportunity, then yes, but you don't know what kind of thing this would be. It looks different to the traditional ones, I will say that. It looks more like the cyst in comparison compared to the traditional corpse ooze that you've seen thus far. Just it's the same tile art. So it does look different.
Okay, I'm going to... Fuck it, I'll take a risk.
You're gonna fuck it. Oh, that's bad.
2,
I'm pretty sure
3.
you're gonna get hit then.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm going to
so
move in.
5, 10, 15 feet moving in.
Mhm.
Okay. I would like you to make me your choice of a dexterity or strength saving throw, please.
Oh boy. Well, that's going to be Dex.
Pretty sure that succeeds.
Total?
Hopefully, it's a 24.
Yes. Moving down the steps, even though they are slightly slick and slippery, you manage to maintain your balance, kind of just sliding down them to the base where you would think, oh, you're going to stick to the otherwise mostly sticky floor around the exterior of this thing. But you manage to quickly hop between a few of the empty spaces here, maintaining your balance and not being stuck or slowed with this turn. Okay. What would you like to do?
I will use my action to attack this thing.
Okay.
Actually, there are corpses within it, you said?
Yes, there seem to be 3 corpses within it.
Okay. Can I attempt to attack one of those?
You may. It will receive an AC bonus based on the fact that it is getting 3/4 cover from the ooze creature itself.
This is reasonable. But I would still like to attempt it.
Okay, go ahead. Step these onto here.
+5 to hit, so another 24.
Okay. Otherwise, moving forward, deftly doing so, taking one of your scimitars and taking a swing, you swing into the ooze with the intent not to cut into it particularly, but to jam it and otherwise do a little bit of damage to the one on the interior. Go ahead and roll your damage. I'm going to split it evenly between the ooze and the Jambie.
Is he jamming the Jambie?
Yes, he is.
Nice.
That is 8 slashing damage.
8 slashing damage. So I will do 4 to the Jambie and 4 to the cyst. Okay. Okay. You move up. You take your swing against it. First strike being successfully hitting.
Okie dokie.
I'm back now, guys. Sorry.
Welcome back. You rolled a natural 2 in the initiative, so you are at the bottom.
That's
natural-
fine. Nothing
natural.
different. Nothing has changed.
Yep, we're literally at the bottom. Both of
I'm
us.
not surprised.
Yep. And for reference, this 2x2 here lines up with this 2x2 here. So, yeah. Okay. And what were you going to do there next, Vinny?
Okay, I'm going to try and back up.
Okay.
Having gotten down before, do I know how difficult this is likely to be?
Now that you're seeing this, you'll be able to move back up fine. Going back up the steps is going to be difficult, so you're going to be looking at a dex save for the stairs rather than the goop on the floor that you now know is there.
Okay, I will take a risk on that.
Okay. First off, the Jambie that you struck is going to make an attack of opportunity with disadvantage because in this situation he isn't going to be able to get much of a hit in. No. 2 natural 2s. Off to a roaring start.
Beautiful.
The one inside goes and attempts to claw out, but is otherwise able to break the surface of the ooze that it's contained within.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Right, and then...
Okay. Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw, please. So for all intents and purposes, you are here. Yep, you're fine.
Yep, 16.
Moving back up the steps, even though they are slick and moving up, you otherwise kind of quickly take your steps, not making sure to stay on there for too long, but enough to keep your balance as you otherwise reach the top of the stairs, your party looking down and seeing what happened. Okay. End of your turn, Cat.
Hold on, bonus action.
Bonus action?
They didn't attack. I'm going to give a Bardic Inspiration.
Ooh. Who would you like to give it to?
let's go for K, I think.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So as I back up the steps, I will turn to him. Good luck, and watch your step.
Okay. Righty then. So, Kay, you have your Bardic Inspiration, and
It's what, a D4?
D6, I believe.
D6.
And that's for what again? I haven't used very much Bardic Inspiration, so I can't remember.
Basically anything.
It's everything except for damage. It's next level, or is
Yeah.
yeah, it's next. No,
Okay.
is it sixth? It's third or sixth level. It can be used for damage, but for now it can't be.
Hello.
Is it
Roll ability
just-
check or saving throw, basically.
Yeah.
Also, is it just one use or
One use, yeah.
is it?
One use.
Okay.
But you
Sorry,
It's
can
one
that
use
use,
so
but it
long.
only lasts 10 minutes. So once it's used, it's
Yeah.
gone. But if it's not used, it disappears.
Okay.
Okay. So, Kat, you are up next. You just saw Vinny otherwise rush down, kind of slipping and sliding a little bit, but as he otherwise kind of deftly moved up, took a swing, and then backed off. You saw the Jambie on the inside otherwise beginning to try and reach out and grab him to try and attack him, now very much aware of your party's presence.
Limes. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look down at Cychania and we're both gonna nod simultaneously. I'm gonna run my hand along her and cast Mage Armor.
Okay. Okay.
We'll be safe.
Okay, doing so, the otherwise kind of the red and otherwise light purple energy begins to otherwise flow over your form as it begins to crackle and form this kind of outer layer of plate armor, which begins to slowly sink in and dissipate, becoming almost nearly transparent. Go ahead and make me a d20 roll, please.
Oh yeah, because it's the first level, isn't it? Damn.
Nope. Okay, you're fine.
Oh, good.
Okay. With that, you still have your movement and a bonus action if you wish to use it for anything.
No. I mean, I haven't got anything I can do in my bonus action, and I mean, there's really no point in moving. I'm just gonna stay where I am.
Okay.
Actually, no. Actually, I'm gonna step back so Romulus can get past me.
Okay. End of your turn, Romulus. You are up next.
Okie dokie. Right.
Just okie
Sorry,
dokie.
sorry.
Right.
I only just came back. The reason I was
Yep.
gone for so long was all of my basically 90% of the meal I ordered didn't come. They just sent the one bit of it.
Oh yes.
Which, okay, so
Yeah.
where is Vinny and Kay precisely? In
Vinny
the
and
hole?
Kay are effectively on the stairs here.
Mhm.
So if you wanted to get past, you can go round and drop down onto this stair here, and then you can run past, or you can go past them and it'll be just treated as difficult terrain.
All right.
He should be able to get past me without an issue, right?
You're able to
Right.
run through people, they can't run through you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a one-way transaction for your racial ability.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to be careful where I step, otherwise, bye-bye, Kay.
Splat.
I think you'd have an
That's
easier
second
time.
rat. Go splat.
Actually, I feel like it would be more like bye-bye future Romulus children.
Ooh, ooh, fighting dog.
Either way.
in the round tables.
Okay. Romulus, what would you like to do?
Right. So I'd land on the second stair there. So one,
Yep.
2, about 3 to get down.
I'd say it'll be 1, 2, 3, either way, because, yeah.
Mhm. So that would get me to.
That would get you
approximately
to
here.
there. Okay. You otherwise drop down the kind of the slick steps. Initially, you kind of have your balance. Make me a dexterity saving throw with advantage for danger sense, as you can currently see.
I have eyes. Huzzah!
Yep.
Um,
Easily enough. Yeah, easily enough. You otherwise maintain your balance. It is a little bit slick. You don't manage, or you don't fall prone and otherwise slide down, but you do see with the light that there are patches of otherwise what seems to be a sticky residue from whatever this cystic ooze is in the middle. That Vinny was very much avoiding when he came down, and you otherwise drop down and land safely. But so it's 15 feet of movement.
Right. I'm just trying to think here. If I'm here, can I hit
That's 20.
this one with my Danax?
You can. It has the benefit of it will share its damage with the ooze because it's contained within it still, and it also has increased AC because it's inside of this thing.
But correct me if I'm wrong. This thing doesn't look like it's entirely made out of slime, the Jambie, so slashing damage might actually not fuck me over royally with it.
Keep in mind that slashing damage has been fine thus far. Like,
I've been using
like multiple people have been using slashing damage.
I thought that's why things kept halving.
No,
Okay.
that was during the introduction with the Ocker jellies.
Oh, okay.
Just because they fitted the narrative of the place.
Right, I got confused.
No,
because I thought that they were always fighting the same slimes.
No.
Okay, well, I'm using my Dane axe to smack this fucker in the head, and you know what? I'll rage. I feel like this is a situation that requires a rage.
Okay. Beginning your bonus action with the beginning rage, you land, beginning to almost enhance and take that tribal rage,
like full
anger
on
in
like
place.
what do you call it? The hero 3-point landing style. You know, like knee, one leg down on knee on the dab, and then the fist. Yeah, and then I get up. Romulus comes in to smack this fucker in the head.
Okay.
I will be recklessing because why the fuck not?
Go ahead and make me a reckless attack, then, please.
Right. I actually need a D10 quickly for the glaives damage. God, please fucking hit. Okay, that's an 18.
Yes, that will hit.
So 7 plus 4 plus 2, 13 points of damage, I believe.
13 points of damage. You swing overhead with the Danax, cutting down, the rage taking place as otherwise parts a bit of the ooze doing. You said 13 points of damage, so that will be split mostly to your target. So that will be 7 points of damage to the Jambie and 6 to the cyst.
And that's me done for the turn.
Yep, but as you otherwise slice down towards it, it parts some of the zombie, otherwise or Jambie, cutting into it and cutting into the ooze. You otherwise pull it back, kind of the sucking sound of as it tears away, holding your Danax in place as the rest of your companions are beginning to filter down on their own as well. Okay. Next up, Kay.
Oh. Did not expect that. Alright,
You expected these things to be fast.
I expected something. Alright, yeah. Alright.
Okay, so starting there.
5,
10,
10, 15.
Okay, go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw. Given that you've also seen you also have the light, you are able to see the patches of stickiness. Yep, easy enough. You don't slide and slip down the stairwell as you always jump down, almost parkouring a little bit. You see the patches of stickiness and are able to avoid them.
Alright. And I am going to... Am I able to see the Plague Knight from here?
Yes, he's up behind Vinny.
Alright. Now I can't see the Plague Knight.
Correct, there's a Romulus in the way.
I am going to take a swing at this thing with me tail.
Okay, the thing being...
I'm just gonna try and hit the ooze.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that.
Okay, go ahead.
Oop. I don't think that hit.
What's the total to hit?
8.
That hits.
Oh my god!
Yeah, don't worry. Low rolls can still hit. I think only a natural 1 misses for most people.
Alright, that is...
I think a 2 is a miss for Cat, but anybody else, I think it still hits.
I rolled the wrong die. I need this one.
Yep, because it's your tail.
That is 12.
12.
Not including the poison.
That'll
but,
be 1 point of poison because it's halved, so that'll make it 13. It is going to... You deal 7 to the ooze, and it is going to send the other 6 at one of the other Jambies.
Haha! I had a feeling this might happen. I am gonna attack again. Because why not?
Okay, bonus action attack. Taking in a swing with your tail, it otherwise dives in, poking into part of it. You watch as around where the tail was, it contracts, and as it does so, you watch as part of a Jambie just is crushed. As part of its, or what was left of whatever the elven organs were there, just crush inwards, and you watch as small bits and flecks of flesh just fall off and begin to otherwise degrade on the interior of this thing. Okay, second attack. Yep, just the left one. Yep, easily enough. Doing 3 plus...
3 plus... it's still taking the +4, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh no,
so
because this is your
plus-
bonus action attack. You didn't have 2 weapon
Okay,
fighting, so
so
it was just the 3.
4.
So 4 halved to 2, as it's going to take 2. It's going to send the other 2 at this one.
Alright, so that was, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 35.
Okay.
Back in.
Okay. You back up to there. Okay. At this point, as you've otherwise moved back, stepping up onto the table and crouching in the corner, just seeing what was going on, the Plague Knight otherwise none the wiser of exactly what happened there. As Romulus and Kay, you watch as from the interior of this, the Jambies begin to otherwise peel themselves out, pulling out of the interior of this thing. That one's going to go there. That one's going to go 1, 2, 3. This one's going to go 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, it would make sense for it to
Romulus
go
goes, I'm in danger.
there. Yes.
Ah.
Okay.
Good luck.
As the Jambies otherwise pull themselves free, just almost, not necessarily snarling, but otherwise shambling towards each of you, you're going to get 1 attack against Kay and 2 attacks against Romulus.
Oh no.
Hooray.
Okay, the 2 against you, Romulus, have advantage because of reckless attack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
a 20 total to hit.
That'll do it.
And the other one is a 17 total to hit.
That will also do it.
Okay.
If I die immediately, I deserved this.
It's unlikely. The first one does 5 points of bludgeoning damage, halved to 2 because of rage.
Yeah.
The second one does 6 points of bludgeoning damage, halved to 3.
Oh,
Okay.
Are you dead yet?
As the
I
two
live.
as the 2 that are near you take swings, you watch as ooze begins to otherwise seep from their arms, and as they grab onto you, you begin to feel sluggish. You have taken 2 hits, so your movement speed is reduced to 5 feet next turn.
Oh,
no.
don't worry. I'm not gonna be doing much moving.
And this one attacks UK. Single attack roll. That's cocked. That would have been a 17. Now it's a 10 total.
Nope.
Okay. As it moves forward to otherwise take a swing at you on the table, you kind of back up into the wall, jumping and clinging to it, using your claws to otherwise dig in and hold in that motion as it takes swings at you, trying to reach for where your legs are, but you're too small and nimble. Okay. End of their turn. It is now the Plague Knight's turn.
Oh no.
Plague Knight is going to move down. 5, 10, 15. Let's see if he makes his dex save. No. Okay,
Classic Plague Knight.
he is now prone and stuck to the floor. Meaning his movement speed is currently 0.
I waved to him.
Yeah, you wave to him as he otherwise falls down in front of the Jambie. And he is going to... In his current situation, he's just going to spend his action to try and stand back up, just to make a strength check versus the stickiness. Okay, well, at least he manages that. Okay. He stands back up in his current situation, otherwise illuminating light on the interior. Now the rest of you can kind of see the bookshelves at the back with the scattered books, most of them covered in what looks to be some form of kind of a sticky residue, crates and barrels at the back of the room, and the tables fully lined with whatever they were left with. Okay. With that being his turn over, Damian, it is your go.
What the heck can I do? I'm blocked from attacking, aren't I?
At the moment, you are, yeah.
Wonderful.
Well,
Okay,
that one's prone, so...
There is... Well, no, he's back up now. But the good news is this at least allows me to use some spells whilst I let you guys figure out how to get forward.
Right down the stairs on your shield.
I am tempted to do that, but I can't make the entrance with the people in the way. I might take Romulus's head off with my shield.
I was aim for the Plague Knight.
You put a
Collateral.
deals decapitating damage to the Plague Knight.
That's my friend. Don't mess with him. This is the one that's my friend, right? I have
Yes.
designated friend.
Yeah, you've designated your friend, yeah.
Okay, well, given that they're down there, I think this is pretty simple. I'm going to cast Bless
Okay.
on the 3 that are currently down in the basement.
And the 3 that are down there. Okay, to get full line of sight,
That's my job.
to get best line of sight here, I'd say you'd have to move up just to see past Vinny and be able to see everybody properly. Okay. So, otherwise, reaching up to grab the clip of your cape where your holy symbol resides, you otherwise extend it downwards, and to each of you these otherwise strange halos of almost 4 diamonds begin to appear that then begin to fade and almost sink into your heads as you 3 are blessed.
Oh no.
And you are
I'm
now,
an atheist.
and you are now concentrating on bless.
Yep.
Okay.
That was a joke.
So that is your action to do, correct, or is it bonus action for bless?
That
Action.
is an action.
Okay, spending action to do that. Do you wish to move any more or spend a bonus action to do anything?
Well,
Don't
give... hang on.
Don't think there's much you can do in the way of bonus actions, but if there's any actions you might want to try.
There is one I can do if I can do 2 spells.
No, unfortunately not. And also Shield of Faith is, I believe, concentration as well.
Yeah,
So.
both would be concentration.
Mm.
In that case, I guess I'm gonna move, and I guess the logical thing is to move there next to Vinny.
Okay, moving to the top of the steps. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, Lloyd.
Seeing as Damian took my action for me,
Okay. Oh wait, that's right. These went.
can I
You're
see
welcome.
Romulus
There.
from over here?
Holy.
Chris?
Pardon?
Can I see Romulus from here?
Just about, yes. Given his larger frame, you would be able to.
Damian, what you did was I was supposed to do. But
Stack the blesses.
I'll just shield the faith, Romulus.
Okay.
Aw, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I am going to mark it with a purple.
It's really nice.
I guess.
Thanks.
Actually, no, let's get a different colour.
Yellow?
I was going to say, let's use a dark blue. That'll be fine.
So, I'm assuming you guys know what they mean. Those 2 are down there.
Shield of Faith adds to AC.
Yeah, what
Bless
Bless means.
allows us to roll
and Bless is
a
additional
D4
D4.
on attack rolls and saving throws.
And ability checks, if you need to use them.
Task.
That lasts a minute as well, so if combat ends early, you can then proceed to do other things and still have the bless for a bit.
Even ability?
Yeah.
Huh.
Is
doesn't say
is it
in
a
the
minute or is it 10
description.
minutes? Wait.
It is a minute and doesn't say ability checks in the description. It says
Interesting.
whenever a target makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, the target may roll a d4 and add that number to the attack roll or saving throw.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
I didn't realise
Yeah,
it didn't work on
I thought
ability
about
checks.
that.
Okay, good to know.
Oh,
So-
it does say ability checks
And-
here under my effect.
That might have been just me miswriting it then, if it's...
yeah, whenever a target makes an attack roll, a saving throw.
Yeah,
I think enhance ability is the one for
The enhanced ability gives advantage, yeah, and guidance gives you the ability check, so it's probably just I typed it in wrong for you,
Yeah.
for you, Jamie. Yeah. Okay.
I'll sort that out.
Okay, so Shield of Faith is up, and you move back. Good to know. Okay, end of your turn, Lloyd. It is now the Mutator's turn.
What now?
Instantly think this is a bad idea.
Okay, the Cystic Mutator is going to spend all of its movement
To run away.
to go 5 feet,
Hey. Yeah, boy.
and it's then going to make a glob shot at.
Oh.
What?
It is a
At
range.
Lloyd.
It's gonna make a glob shot at K.
I don't think it can reach us.
Is it because I attacked it?
Yes. Okay, that is a 14. Does it hit?
No.
Okay. As you're otherwise there in the corner, you see what looks to be a portion of the otherwise the cystic mutator begin to grow as it fires this glob of acidic bile at you, which otherwise strikes the cornerstone where you were, and you watch this portion of the stone just melts away as it otherwise remains in place.
I am glad that missed.
Worst noise I've heard this week.
You're welcome. Okay, Vinny, top of the round. Vinny?
Top of the round, that is me.
Yep.
Okay. If it were anyone else, I might ask if I could get past, but this is Romulus.
Look, it's very simple. Just vault over me using my horns as handles.
Pommel
Oh,
horse
my days.
style.
Yeah.
Romulus the Minotaur pommel.
If you wish to
Okay,
try
if-
and vault over people, you can. I will allow it. It will use extra movement to do so, though, and ability checks and stuff.
Maybe attempt to vault over the Plague Knight instead. Just because I feel that would end better.
Both have different options. Going over Romulus, you are right. Just use him like a sturdy mount and just otherwise like swing over his horns and use him as extra height to get over the Jambies if you wish.
That is fair.
If you're going over the Plague Knight, you could end up knocking him prone and back into the goop below and potentially even go there yourself. So it depends on what you want to do.
Quite funny though.
But he is also a lower target.
Yeah, I assume there's not a possibility to like tumble past. It is quite an angle.
There are the
Yeah.
barrels in the way as well. You'd be going straight into barrels and it will effectively be onto difficult terrain, which means you get stuck on Romulus's tile with rolling.
Yeah, just leap over me in a glorious display of athleticism. If you want.
Yeah, I mean, can I make it here or where can I get?
It
to?
depends on where you want to try and aim. If you want to try and swing round Romulus's, or use Romulus's horns to swing round and land on the barrels, you can. If you want to try and swing over and like pole vault over and land on the other side of the Jambie, you can. It depends on where you want to try and get to.
Here is definitely a safer place to stand, I think. So if I can grab his horns and vault round, I will attempt to do that.
Okay, go ahead and make me an athletics check. And Romulus, please go ahead and make me a strength saving throw. You have advantage plus a d4 because of Bless.
You have another d6 if you need it. Ooh.
D6? What? No, I have the D6.
Romulus?
No, yes, no, you're correct. Okay, has the d6.
I think Harlan had to be right back right there. I'll roll for him.
Okay,
I know
that was a low roll. I would like to use my inspiration if that's okay,
Go for it.
because I like using it on dumb shit.
Okay.
There
better.
we go.
There we go. Easily enough, you otherwise rush down, you grab onto Romulus's horns, swing round, and you otherwise perfectly manage to get the landing on the barrels. There's a moment where you think you're going to collide straight into them and knock them over, but you manage to stabilize yourself, otherwise slightly sliding off the top barrel and avoiding any attacks from the ones nearby as you slide into place.
Yeah, I assume the barrel, as I land on it, tips and almost tips over, but then I
Yep.
stabilize it in the last minute.
Yep.
Was that an action or was that just movement?
That's just your movement.
Beautiful. I am going to make an attack against this blue one.
Okay.
It's with sneak attack. Romulus
Mhm.
is there.
There's Romulus is there. Go ahead. Okay.
That is a 16 to hit.
Okay, that is the blue one, correct? Yep, they're in order.
Indeed.
Perfect. You swing down with a nice clean hit, carving through a large portion of the otherwise collarbone and clavicle as it tears through it, and otherwise cuts into the interior where you can see, instead of organs, there's almost this beating and otherwise pulsing green mass of ooze that's otherwise replaced the majority of its interior with almost a shell of flesh around the exterior. How much damage is that?
That is 12 slashing damage.
12 damage. Okay, good hit. It's not looking that healthy.
Okay, that was the big hit as I used the momentum of tipping the barrel back into place, and then with my offhand, I'm going to attempt to get a little bit more damage in on this.
Okay. Bonus action attack,
Or
taking
bonus
Scimitar
action,
once again, taking a swing down. Zombie unprepared, or Jambie unprepared for it.
That is a 17 to hit.
Okay. You watch
And-
as your carved portion of it slices off the head of this creature, and you watch as it almost stumbles back for a moment, expecting it to fall over dead, before you watch as what's left of it kind of pulls forward, and you watch as the interior bit of gel and slime almost reacts, and these tiny little, almost tendrils begin to reach up, almost trying to figure out where everything is. It came back on 1 hit point.
Okay. Okay, I understand the deal.
Okay.
Fair enough. I know it's risky. If I have any movement left, I would like to move up here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You move there. That one is going to make an attack of opportunity against you as it sees you otherwise slice its friend's head off.
Mm-hmm.
That's cocked. That would have been a 6. Okay, so that becomes a total of 10.
That does not hit.
No. As you otherwise dive off of the barrel, you watch as it slightly destabilizes, and you watch as it swings out with an attempt to slam you, as its hand otherwise bashes against the barrel, which otherwise tips towards you, rolling against the ground. Fairly solid barrels for what they are, but it tips and rolls against one of the bookshelves, where a little bit of dust almost falls off of the edge as you survey the room around you. Okay.
I'm going to circle around one more, since I still have to move him for it.
Okay.
The rest of my food arrived.
Excellent.
Nice.
You
There
now
are
have
the
You
19
missed-
chicken
You
nuggets.
missed Vinny doing stunts with your horns and swinging round past you.
Did it go well?
Yes. Well,
Yeah, almost failed.
almost failed. Use inspiration, made it round. You rolled 18 plus 3 plus your strength saving throw with advantage to... Yeah,
Yeah,
you're fine.
that sounds about right for Romulus.
Yep. Okay, Cat,
My
you are
damage rolls were 4, 5, and 6, so
Yeah.
very nice on that one.
pretty solid stuff so far. Cat, you are up.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna reach back into my hood and pull out a Jeff,
Okay.
and I'm sending Jeff down, up as close to the ceiling as he can, and I'm going to be sending him to about here to see if I can see a tendril or anything like that.
Okay. I must apologise because you've just reminded me I need to import Jeff into here. I had one job and I failed it. I apologise.
Okay.
I mean, there's always something.
There's always something. So for now, Jeff can be...
I am NPC.
Jeff can be IMNPC. Oh yeah, we never use IMNPC. Where is I? Oh, did I delete the IMNPCs?
Let Jeff be Felipe.
Oh, I did. I could just use Felipe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had that. So. All right,
Oh, the bitch is back.
all right. Felipe is back for the time being. Okay, there we go.
It looks less scary. It's so good. Right. So yeah, I'm going to look through Jeff, or
Okay.
use Jeff's sight to see if I can
Jeff.
see any tendrils.
Okay.
Could look through Jeff.
Okay, so in this moment, you go blind and deaf as you otherwise send Jeff down from your hood. He otherwise screeches past the rest of them, going over the heads of these ones. You have a choice in this instance. Given you're going to be looking through Jeff's eyes, do you wish to disengage, and then you would be spending your full turn to do this, and this means the zombies don't get to attack, or do you wish to preserve your action?
No, I'll disengage.
Okay, so Jeff doesn't get attacked. So in which case, with Jeff flying over, otherwise avoiding the zombies and the ooze from doing anything, you look through Jeff's eyes. Go ahead and make me a perception check then, please. No disadvantage, because you do have a light source in the room currently. Notably, for those of you up on the surface, you do not have a light source, but there is moonlight.
That is 19.
Okay, looking down, there is no trail, it would seem.
Okay.
You look around the room with Jeff, and you can see the ooze in place that otherwise is very slowly moving, and it seems to be more ingrained into the stone, and it's attempting to move with what little speed it has. Seems to be connected to nothing of your note. You're fairly confident with that.
Okay, right, then I'm gonna move Jeff into like the corner up here,
Okay.
out of the way, on top of the boxes or behind the box. I'll break the contact. Just turn around and say it's not connected to Lloyd.
Okay.
And Damian. Oh, got then.
Also, I know this probably isn't the best time to do it, but I've just remembered I meant to say it is not a double full moon tonight. I did my calculations wrong. I didn't account for what year it was. It's in 2 months' time. But it's still bright out
Okay.
because it is at least one full moon tonight.
Aw, the
No.
double werewolves don't get to play around.
No, the dire werewolves aren't until 2 months' time. It's fine. Random encounters will get a lot more fun when that happens. So,
I look forward to that.
Romulus, you are up now, and Kay, you will be up next. So get ready.
Yep, I already know what I'm doing.
All right. Well, first thing I'm doing, I'm going to be attacking. It was this green fellow I attacked first earlier on, right?
The blue fellow is the one you attacked first, and looking at the blue fellow, he just pulled himself back together as best he could. He is on death's door.
All right. Could I bring out my my smacking stick, my
Your
maul?
Okay, taking your Danax, kind of swinging it behind, pulling the maul out instead, and brandishing it.
Smickety smick. Yeah, I'm. God, it's such a bad idea to reckless. But no, I'm not going to. I don't know how. I'm going to at least give it a try normally. I will be attacking the blue one.
Okay.
In the hopes that I can destroy it, so that Vinny can do other things.
Go ahead and make me an
his
attack
life.
roll.
Okay. So.
You have bless, so you do have an additional D4. Doesn't matter though.
Doesn't matter in the
Matter.
slightest.
Okay. Total
9 plus 6, 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
damage.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
You swing down with your maul and you watch as a large portion of its upper neck and torso is crushed, and you watch as the ooze separates outwards, otherwise breaking off portions of the arms, before you watch as what was where the torso was begins to reform. And almost holding what little bits of flesh it can together, it pops back to 1 hit point.
Cool. I'm now going to stab it with my horns.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
I believe that's just a D6 there.
Yep, but you get to add your
The
2
rage.
from rage. Yep, that hits.
So 4 points of damage. And I potentially move into its space, I guess. I'm not really sure how this would work if it does die.
Okay, you otherwise slam your horns into it, skewering what you can of it, and as you do, you watch as portions of it begin to tear apart. It's still resilient, and you watch as it stands there,
Holy
popping
shit.
back to 1 hit point.
I hate these things.
I feel like it should only be able to do that once a turn, but fuck.
No, there's no limit on that. It's just the save gets harder and harder, and it's doing well. It had to roll very high for that damage you did, and it did very well.
Alright. Well, I'll just stay where I am.
Mm-hmm. Okay. With that being the end of your turn, Kay, you are up next.
It is time to show the true power of the weapons. 5, 10, 15.
Opportunity of attack of opportunity against you.
Fine.
That is a 20 to hit.
Okay, that does hit.
Okay, so this is where it becomes interesting. Because you only had
Sentinel?
oh wait, no. It didn't hit you last time, so your movement speed is 15. But
Yeah,
wasn't 15, rather. So you get to there, and it hits you. You'd have how much movement left?
20, 25, 30,
So you'd
35.
so you'd have 5,
10,
10. So
15,
you've used
20.
10
I'd
when
have
you're
20.
hit. So you'd have 20 left. Okay. So your movement speed you only have 10 feet of movement on the next 2 moves. So keep that in
10
mind.
feet?
You only have 10 feet of movement because it slows you. You also take 7 points of
That's fine.
bludgeoning damage. As it swings in with its slam, it catches the back of you, and the slime from the interior clings to you and begins to almost stick and naturally attach to the ground around you, slowing you down.
So it's 7, right?
7 points of bludgeoning, yep.
Okay. Alright. Takes me to that. And I'm still going to here because
Okay, so yep.
I am throwing carrot dagger at the blue one.
At the blue one. Make me an attack roll.
I don't have my actual dagger anymore.
This
All right.
if this kills it,
Just
because
a
it fails
query,
its save. This
Just a
is
query, Chris. Is Damian witnessing this happen? Is he in a position where he could see it?
your angle for witnessing this would be yes, you would see this if it happens. So we're
Okay, that's
looking
cool.
at 12, yeah, hits, damage, 1 plus dex.
No, that's the
Oh, that's the
that's
addition.
the
Oh,
default-
right, that's the
that's the
D4
bless.
for bless. Yep, no, that's correct. Yep, I forgot that. 4
Ooh.
plus 4.
plus 4.
So 8 damage. Does it make it save?
My goodness. That's a deadly carrot.
As you throw the carrot and it strikes against the surface of it, you watch as it embeds into it, and you watch as there's a moment where the ooze begins to falter before the carrot slowly begins to dissolve and rot in it. Unfortunately, it made it save for the 3rd time.
I hate this.
That was a very good attempt. It's just rolling very well.
I hate this stupid zombie. Die!
Jambies, they're resilient apparently.
Uh,
I didn't realize how dangerous like the fortitude effect could be until today.
Alright.
New DM's note: zombies are a lot more powerful than they may seem.
I'm just gonna bonus attack this thing.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, that would hit. And doing 1 point of damage with the 1
2.
point of poison. So that'll be 2 points of damage. Okay. Easily enough, you otherwise dig into it, swinging with your claws, you take a strike and rake across it, tearing off small portions of the exterior of this thing. Okay.
Now I just look like some weird monk that throws daggers.
Yep. End of your turn. It is the Jambie's turn. So this Jambie is going to take a strike versus you, Vinny. He has disadvantage because he is headless.
Mm-hmm.
That
Reasonable.
is a 16 to hit.
That does unfortunately
That
hit.
Jambie's doing really well.
I hate that
Yes, that's
champion.
doing work.
You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, and your movement speed is halved for next turn.
Okay, duly noted.
Okay. As otherwise coats you with what slime it has on it. This one that's going to take a strike versus you, Romulus. Not reckless, so only 1 roll. That is a 11 total. As it goes to swing with you being less reckless this turn, you bring them all up, batting away what hands it has, and kind of watching as what slime you had on you begins to slick off and stick to the floor. And this one is going to take a strike versus the Plague Knight. As its target has run away, that is a total of 6. And otherwise clashes versus his armor, where he otherwise swings his mace and holding his shield in place, just kind of bats it away, stopping it from getting too close to him. Jambie's turn is over. It is the Plague Knight's turn. The Plague Knight in this instant is going to use his. He's going to use his. He is going to use his bonus action to cast. Let me quickly get his spells up. Nope, going the wrong way. There we go. That would be helpful.
Use the Plague Knight specific spell. Instantly murder Jambies.
Instantly murder Jambies.
Nice.
No, he's not high. He's not high enough level to be able to use Destroy Undead, which technically would work. Okay. So he is going to use Foretold Strike, or Foretold Smite. Sorry. As a bonus action, concentration for 1 minute. He needs a concentration token. Give me that. Okay. Has advantage on the attack roll against this. Okay. And that is a natural 1 and a natural 16, so that hits. His Warhammer does Ooh, good roll. So he does 10 total points of damage. You watch as he otherwise kind of holds his own for a moment with the shield up in front of him, the Warhammer mace to one side. As you watch as it glows, you watch as his body almost shimmers slightly as there's this almost prismatic ray that covers his chest for a moment. As you watch as he steps forward and swings, the Jambie seemingly unknowing to this happening. And you watch as the after image of him moves forward and takes a swing, otherwise striking with the hit as you watch as almost in a time warping way steps forward and strikes with insane speed against the Jambie itself, doing 10 points of damage. And you watch as he does so, this prismatic ray almost begins to form around him as he gains 10 temporary hit points.
Wow. Oh,
What was that?
Like
yeah.
someone's just been electrocuted.
It
Rip
sounded
whoever
like
it was.
it.
You were almost
not responding?
electrocuted? What?
Is everybody okay?
I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Infernal?
I'm dead, but that was already a problem.
Oh, Infernal's dead, I think.
Rip Infernal.
Rip Infernal? Okay, that sounded like the wiring electrical sparking. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Viking burial for Infernal now.
If
Yeah,
Infernal has actually died, I'll be very sad.
I will be as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that is the
I doubt
Plague
it.
Knight's turn over. Damien, it is your go.
What on earth do I do in this turn again?
Time to pole vault the Minotaur again.
Yep.
I guess this is gonna be hilariously bad when it all goes spectacularly wrong.
Oh, that's right. I'm gonna have a really good viewpoint here.
It's fine.
You
So
are gonna have a good viewpoint of
It's,
this
it's only an
absolute-
acrobatics check, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
very
you'll
very
be fine.
concerned,
You got this.
but I'm gonna do it because I don't think I've got any options. So I'm trying to get on that barrel, I guess.
Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead
that's
and make me an acrobatics check then, please.
This is gonna be utterly hilariously awkward.
Roll a 1. Roll a 1.
Roller 2. Apparently his dex is bad.
Okay.
Is a 7.
Okay, Romulus, would you do me the kindness of rolling me a strength saving throw with advantage and with a d4? This is to see how sturdy you are in this instance.
It just collapses underneath.
Double
me.
ones! Double ones! Ah.
No, plenty. Okay,
Yeah.
so with a 7 total, you aren't as graceful as Vinny. And as Vinny goes and swings around, you're like, I can do that. You otherwise go forward, and you immediately slip on these slick stairs going towards Romulus, as you otherwise slide down the steps towards him. As Romulus, you're standing there firmly, as you watch as he slides past you, almost knocking you over, but you maintain your balance, lifting your hoof for just a moment, as Damian slides past you into the zombies space, and is now stuck
nice.
on the floor prone.
I feel like I need to use an action here to try and get up.
Okay,
Oh
go
wait,
ahead.
hang on. If I'm prone, what does this mean for concentration? Just a question.
Yeah,
Nothing.
nothing.
haven't
That'll
taken
be fine.
damage.
It's when you take damage or when you are incapacitated that you need to worry about it. For the time being,
Yeah.
prone just means that you are on the ground and your movement has become has 0 at the moment because you are grappled.
Right,
So you
I
can
think
spend
I'm
your
gonna have
action to become free and use the rest of your movement to get back up.
Yep, I think you're gonna have to.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a strength check, please, with disadvantage because you are prone. Just roll the second die.
Oh, it better be better than that.
That should be a strength save, not a strength check.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Strength check.
strength save. Sorry.
Oh dear. Okay, I got a 6. Yay.
Okay. You are otherwise still stuck to the ground as you attempt to kind of push yourself up. The stickiness of what was around here ingrained into from the Mutator seems to be present. As you try to pull yourself up, you're otherwise stuck as all the Jambies take note of the new target who's just moved into its space.
I hope you A, enjoyed the existence of a night, and B, enjoyed Bless.
Okay.
'Cause it ain't gonna last.
You'll be
Lloyd.
fine.
Infernal, are you here? Or have you...
Been electrocuted.
He hasn't been
Hello.
electrocuted.
Has anybody messaged him to see what's
Uh,
going on? Oh, he is.
He's here.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
The electricity
shall.
was me.
Take a peek. See that this guy is on death's door, right?
By the looks of it, yeah.
Right, good. I will toll the dead.
You probably need to be there for that, but yeah. Okay, and that is a what save?
That is a.
Wisdom?
Should be
Oh
wisdom.
yeah, wisdom save. Wisdom save.
Ha! No.
That's a 3.
You had me scared for a second there.
Yeah, I thought they were about to say he
3
was
damage.
3 damage. Okay, the DC keeps going up. Let's see. Does he make his save? No. Finally.
Okay.
At this point, as you otherwise look down, seeing the Jambie on almost death's door, you take a moment, reaching up to one of the eyes at the side of your head, concentrate for a moment, as you watch as an eye appears on the chest of this thing, as you watch as there's almost this warbling reverberation that goes through its body before you watch as it just collapses into a puddle on the ground. That one is gone.
An eye show. Okay.
That still counts as my kill.
It counts as 1.
Of course it was 1.
Does it really
Plus one
count?
group kill.
Yeah,
Plus
my
group
one.
Kills. Plus
but it
one
was-
group kill.
Kill stealing. Kill securing, obviously. Okay, what would you like to do now, Lloyd?
That's what KS stands for. Kill secure.
Exactly.
We need to go head down there anyway, right? After?
Maybe.
Seems like it. You don't know.
Does this staircase go anywhere, or is it just?
No, that leads to that.
No, because this is a drop. This is why I confused me.
Oh no, it's not a drop. This just goes straight to the staircase. It's just because of the way the art style is, I can't actually add the staircase underneath this.
Okay.
So if you move to that tile there, you move to this tile here.
Okay. I'll stay here and. But it's worth it, is it? Yeah. But why is Damian prone?
like-
Because he's stuck to the
He failed.
ground. He
Oh.
failed his
Amateur
acrobatics to swim.
Oh right, he did the video thing. Okay.
Yep.
He did the Vinny thing.
Well, he didn't do the Vinny thing, and that's the problem.
With less grace.
Yeah.
With no inspiration, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
Not for your acrobatics, no.
It just doesn't exist. Full
Yeah, it's
stop.
all worth using it. It's fine. I
Don't
shall
have
end my turn
inspiration.
there.
End it there?
Yeah.
Okay. It is now the Mutator's turn. The Mutator in this instance is going to do exactly what it did last time. It's going to take a step back. And it
He's
is,
running away, guys. Get him.
and it's going to make a glob shot against you, Vinny.
Enough. Is that an attack roll or saving throw?
That is an attack roll that is 14 to hit.
Just misses.
Okay. You watch as again the side of it shoots this large glob at you, shooting past, and you otherwise duck out of the way as it hits the bookshelf behind you, scattering dust and pages everywhere as it is just scattered across the area there, and annihilates a large number of books, and you watch as they begin to burn through the wood. And that is that thing's turn. Okay, it's missed both of its glob shots so far. Shame, but that's fine.
Ah, yes, the thing that would murder us. What
Okay.
a shame they didn't hit.
Vinny, it is your turn.
There is a reason why I got close to it.
Disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah,
Now I can't shoot you.
exactly.
Clever. Clever.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that's 3 against 2. You guys are fine.
Yeah.
Wait,
Fine.
prone! What do you
However,
mean?
I have reduced speed.
You have 15 feet of movement, correct?
Yeah, so I can
5, 10, 15.
Whatever,
Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw to not get stuck on either of these two.
It technically matters anyway.
Go ahead and make. Yep.
Save.
Dex save for me, please.
Ooh, that's an 8. That could actually fail.
That is a failure, unfortunately. As you otherwise move forward, you go to step as if to move out of the way, but with the current commotion going on over here and the light swinging and moving and otherwise being blocked momentarily, you step into a portion of the goo and you find yourself stuck in place as you kind of begin to mess with your feet, but you are stuck in place. You have a choice. Given that you are standing, you are stuck with your feet to the ground, you can choose to abandon your shoes and keep moving, or you can attempt a strength saving throw, it should be an athletics check, to break free from the goop. So what did you roll previously, Damian? I forgot it's an athletics check. Does that change anything for you?
It would be higher, but it would have been disadvantage still, right?
Yes, so it would have been 3 plus...
I did roll a 3.
Plus what?
Oh, wait, you said it was just strength, so yeah, it would have been a...
It-
athletics, did you say?
Athletics, yeah. Sorry.
It would have been an 8.
No, still wouldn't have been enough.
Okay.
But you have a choice here, Vinny. You can either abandon your shoes, or you can make an athletics check to try and break free of the grapple, and it will take your action to do so.
Yeah, I can't do a lot either way in that case. So I think I'm going to go for option C, just stay here and lob a dagger at this thing.
Okay, go ahead and make your an attack roll. You still have sneak attack, because K is adjacent to it.
Sneak attack, 'cause K is there.
Yes, Vinny has an anti-foot fetish, so no feet equals yeet.
Well, abandoning shoes works brilliantly the first time.
That's fair. Abandoning feet's harder to
Yeah,
do.
fair.
Okay, that hits, and damage-wise, it's 4 plus...
Plus 3, 7 total damage.
7 total damage. Okay, a good hit.
Pretty
You
good
throw the
average.
dagger.
Full damage.
Hmm?
Still, I'm just assuming that I'm losing that dagger.
You throw the dagger into it. You watch as it hits, begins to sink, and slowly corrodes, as opposed to the other ones that you'd fought. It's salvageable. Notably, the carrot has also dropped as well on the ground. It is slightly corroded, a bit more than the dagger would be, but it is corroding. Okay. Bonus
I'm
action.
not going to use my bonus action because I want to hold on to at least one dagger.
Okay.
I only have 2.
Okay.
So I'll end my turn there.
Cat, it is your turn. Romulus, you'll be up next.
Okay, I am going to move to here.
Okay, so you will be roughly on this tile here.
Right. Cool. And I'm just going to... What am I going to... I guess I'm just going to home in blade. So, I'm going to run my hand alongside Chania again, form a unicorn horn, since it's been established that, and I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to try and pop one of the bubbles on this thing, just
Okay.
for the fun of it.
Go ahead. No, you don't need to roll. It's just damage.
Yep.
Go ahead.
+1.
And you're not out of spells yet, so you don't have to
That
worry about
is
that.
3.
3 points of force damage. Okay. Run your fingers along the surface of Sidechania and shooting it forward. The unicorn horn spirals past everything, digging into the surface of it, and even though it's only one hit, you watch as it otherwise pops a bubble.
Huzzah!
Doing your 3 points of force damage. Okay. Anything else you wish to do?
It's piercing, not force.
Oh well. Same thing.
No, if that counts for anything.
Doesn't change anything for this, no.
Nope. Cool. And...
Oh yeah, that's the slight nerf that has.
Yeah. No, not really. Gonna hang out here.
Okay. Romulus, you are up. Kay, you are up next.
Well then, Damian's prone right now, isn't he?
Correct.
Would be very funny to just step on top of you. How has Red Boy over here taken any damage?
Yes, he has been hit by a strike from the Plague Knight.
All right, I'm willing to give that a try then. With them all, I'm a smack, and I will be recklessing on this one.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll with advantage, and your D4 from Bless still.
Yes. Bless.
Bless. Bless, bless.
Bless, bless, bless.
Yep.
Well,
hits.
thank God for advantage.
Yep. 5 plus 4 plus 2 is 11 points of damage to Red.
Yep.
Okay. You otherwise bring the swing down, crushing the head of this one as you watch as the head is destroyed and the small tendrils otherwise peek up over the top as you reduced him to 1 hit point instead of knocking him below.
God damn it. Alright, horns coming in.
Alright, go ahead and make an attack roll.
If this fucker doesn't die.
Alright, 4 points of damage.
Yeah, it definitely hits.
Yeah, definitely hits, and 4 points of damage. As you otherwise gore it with your horns, striking into the surface of it, you watch as it takes a step back before leaning back forward again. Popping back to 1 hit point.
I call favoritism on Jambies.
I call favoritism on Jambies.
If I told you to make a DC 9 saving throw, you'd make it.
It depends on what kind of saving.
That's fair. It has a good save. I know, it's not proficient, it's just decent. Alright. Is that the end of your turn? You have movement still if you wish to use it.
Lloyd, do you want me to move so you can get a? Do you have ranged attacks?
He used Total Dead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay here because he can probably see this thing over the top of
Yep.
Plaguesy.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I know for a fact Cat is not getting in range of these fuckers.
Okay.
No.
Okay, it is your turn now then.
All right.
Give you 2 to there for now then. Just to make you feel
5,
less
10,
safe about where you are.
15.
Okay. 5, 10, 15. Alright, you.
It's not going anywhere now.
It's
And
just
the Plague Knight cannot see me very well.
Correct.
So tail attack. Haha.
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Inspiration.
Go ahead. Better.
That's better. I am not taking
Much better.
that one.
Okay. Still only the one on the damage.
Yeah, I didn't re-roll any of those.
No, the damage doesn't get rerolled. It's just the to hit. So, with that, that is 5 points with the +2, which is halved. That makes it 6 points of damage. You swing forward with your tail again, puncturing a small portion of it as it contracts slightly from the blade that sticks into it before drawing it out.
All right, this time I am going to bite it. I am curious on what this thing tastes like because it is a little bit different than the others.
Correct. Okay, better.
No, much better.
Yeah, 5 points of damage. Taking that to that. You otherwise beginning to unhinge your mask. You take your step forward towards it, grab it, and bite into the surface of it. It tastes very similar, but you get hints of dying flesh with this as you otherwise bite into it. The taste filling your mouth as you tear a small chunk of it off and you swallow it down, but it's not nearly as acidic or burning as it goes down your throat.
Huh. All right, I'm okay with biting this one.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Can I prepare movement just in case this thing tries to move on top of me? Because I don't know if this thing is gonna like stay in place or keep trying to go down this way.
I'll say you've still got movement left, so I'll allow it. Beholding what's remaining of your movement if you wish to move out of the way.
Yeah, if it.
I'll say it will
moves
have
this
to
way
be moving
again.
this way. Moving down,
That
given
way?
that's the. Yeah. Rather
Okay.
than moving up this way.
I was gonna go that way.
There are 2 portcullises in the way. You're unable to
Oh,
move
those
forward.
are portcullises.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually see those.
No,
Huh.
that's fine. So there are 2 portcullises there blocking your movement through, even yours in a smaller frame.
hamster
That's
cage.
fine.
But I bet the slime could get through.
Mm,
Then we engage in a game of tug and war.
Or we touch the thingy.
He noticed the
There's a
lever.
thingy there.
There is a lever there.
Do you
Okay,
think it will react if I stroke it?
Maybe.
maybe. Okay, so, end of your turn. It is the Jambie's turn now. The Jambie's
I'm
noticing
so
the vulnerable target on the ground. They're both going to take a swing with advantage because you are prone. That is a 19 to hit. That just hits.
That's one hit.
And then a 18 to hit, which is a miss because you have your
Mine's
shield.
Only one hit.
Only one hit. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as it otherwise swings down and strikes against your side. Your movement speed is halved for next turn. Notably. And go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw for your concentration, please. The DC is 10.
Constitution.
Constitution saving throw, which should be a +4 for you. So, and it's against a DC of 10, as that is the minimum at the moment. Yep.
Yeah, that'll do.
Bless is maintained. Okay. That is their attacks over as one of the Jambies swings down and takes a strike. You manage to otherwise block the other one by raising your shield just in time to prevent it from hitting you. Okay. With that, it is now the Plague Knight's turn. The Plague Knight, he's no longer concentrating. His Foretold Smite went off. He is going to... He is going to move up and onto the table and then climb round. And he's going to get across from you, Romulus, and he is going to take a swing with his +2 to hit. Thank goodness he had the +2, because that would have missed otherwise. Okay. Alright, he does 7 points of bludgeoning damage. He swings in with the Warhammer once again, taking a clean strike against the head of this thing. Does it go down? Yes, it fails its saving throw. Watch as he takes a clean swing against what's left of the tendrils at the top. He hits it cleanly, and you watch as it does so. It crumples into a pile of rotting flesh and goo on the floor. Rest of his movement, he's going to move up to here to make it slightly easier. And does he make his dex save for standing in the goop? Yes, he does. Right. Okay, end of his turn. Damian, you are up.
Oh no, I'm stuck actually.
You are stuck. Your movement speed is halved. This means that if you spend your even if you spend your action to break free with the athletics check, you would still only be able to stand up. You wouldn't be able to move anywhere. While you are prone, if you make an attack roll, it is with disadvantage, notably. But you can still attack.
You know what? I'm just tempted to attack this Jambie.
Go ahead. You'll be with disadvantage if you would like to.
Let's give it a go. Right, hang on. I've got to look at which dice I need
D8.
Damage in case it hits. D8, which is that one.
Nope, it's the red one.
The red one. Cool.
Okay, disadvantage on the attack roll. Yep. Okay. With a clean swing against the ankles of this thing, you do how much damage? 2 plus.
I use bludgeoning.
5 bludgeoning damage. Okay. You take a clean.
Hit him right in the kneecaps.
You take a clean swing, hitting where the ankle would be, and you watch as it otherwise buckles, and the foot comes off before these green tendrils and almost stick out and stabilize it, otherwise keeping it upright. Okay. And is your action?
Yep.
Okay. I presume that would be your turn, given you're still stuck to the floor.
I would assume so myself.
Okay. End of your turn, Lloyd. Infernal. Infernal.
He said he was just going to charge straight in there.
Oh, did he now?
Yeah. He's gonna dive into the cystic ooze.
Yeah.
I see.
Uh,
Well, good to know.
Well,
Right,
Its
let's
hide is
let's
too
pick him
tough.
up and.
I must have
No.
taken.
No.
Yeah, that got his attention.
There we go.
That did indeed.
He'll
We
fight.
contacted Scotty and beamed
Its
him
hide's
directly into the
Its
cystic
hide is
ooze.
too thick. I must fight it from the inside.
So I need to go here to see it?
Now, don't give K ideas.
Yeah.
To see what?
To see this guy.
Yes, over the top of your friends, given the height difference now.
Has he taken damage yet?
Yes.
Yeah, he just took a mace to...
Wisdom save as I
ankle.
shoot him with an eye.
Wisdom save. Oh, natural 20.
What?
As you otherwise shoot the eye towards him to cause a reverberation, you watch as it hits the outside of his skin, and you watch as the ripple happens, it goes over the surface of the skin and is mostly absorbed, not really having much of an effect.
It's
That's
so
not
wise.
supposed to happen.
You just hear the sounds of some sort of profound saying.
Okay, go ahead
It's
and
a
roll me.
religious saying.
Go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw, please, Lloyd.
Aw.
As you have moved more than one step at a time down the slippery steps.
I have.
Yeah, you have. You
got it.
moved
When
forward and
slime-
you moved across. So go ahead and make me a
Bruh.
dexterity saving throw.
When slime ends as
It is a nat 20.
20. Seeing Cat behind you and worried that she might otherwise slide down the steps given her equine form, you're like, nope, 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 and slide across and grab hold of the wall as best you can, otherwise holding yourself firm.
As we learnt last time, if you wanted to make sure she wouldn't do anything bad, just shove an apple in her mouth.
Sure.
Oh wait, Infernal doesn't know that.
No,
You weren't there.
he wasn't there.
Wasn't here for that.
Okay, it is now the Mutator's turn. The Mutator is in fact going to go here. Okay, use your reaction to move out of the way. Alright.
Yep, I'm out.
You see it as you otherwise try to block its path. You watch as it continues to pull itself towards you, seemingly unperturbed by your presence. As it otherwise moves as it moves into the space, you quickly dart out of the way and onto the table, just scrambling up. It is going to take a shot. Versus Vinny again? Nah, it's going to take a shot versus Cat.
Oh no.
Thank God I moved. Thank God I moved.
5, 10, 15,
damn.
20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, you're outside of its optimal range, so this is with a disadvantage to attack.
Good.
That is a 13 to hit?
No.
No.
Thank God for mage armor.
Would have hit me.
As it takes its shot towards you, you watch it again bulges up. Shoots it forward towards you as it strikes against the steps in front of you. You watch as portions of the steps are blown apart by almost the seeming bludgeoning impact before pieces of stone begin to burn slightly from the acidic content. It still hasn't hit anyone.
0 for 3.
0 for 3. Don't worry. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns until it's quote-unquote escaped. So
It's
Oh,
8.
it's
Yeah, sure.
on.
not for long. Okay, end of its turn. Vinny, you are up. You are still grappled to the ground.
Don't
Okay.
worry.
I
They
do
saw
need
that
to-
lever.
Yeah, I do need to attempt to escape in that case. Is that an action?
That would
to
be an
try and
action
push
to
up?
make an athletics check to try and break free, yes. Even,
Okie dokie.
even if you fail, the DC gets lower with each attempt.
Fair enough. Well, my athletics is positive at least, so let's give it a go.
Good to know.
That's an 11.
That's an 11, okay. You otherwise kind of looking down at your feet, you're like, okay, I got a plan. You take your last remaining dagger and you just begin to dig underneath your feet in that moment, and you otherwise pry one free. And as you do, that gives you enough momentum to otherwise pull your other foot free, as you are now free and no longer grappled.
Okay.
So,
moving
okay.
here.
Go ahead and make me another dexterity saving throw as you are again stepping into more sticky spot.
It's okay. He doesn't have to move from that spot.
That is true,
That's better.
and that is fine.
That's a
Yeah.
15.
Yep, otherwise stepping forward, you otherwise step out and over away from any sticky spots. You are not grappled in place, but you're otherwise there.
Okie dokie. I can't do anything useful with a bonus action because I need to attack to make my offhand attack.
Correct.
So that's going to be my turn. But if it attempts, it can't hit me very easily now. And
True.
if it's going to try and move, I can opportunity attack.
Yep.
So I'm good here.
Okay, Cat, you are up. A glob shot towards you past the Plague Knight and into the stone in front of you. Seemingly very much aware of your presence. Cat?
Of course. Right. Alright. I've been played again then. It's just a bit to and fro between me and it now. Yeah, I'm just gonna cast Homing Blade.
Cast Home Blade. Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
That's 2.
2 points of damage. Okay. Slowly chipping away. Excellent. Okay. Streaking your hand across the surface of Titania, again firing another unicorn horn. It digs, embeds, and otherwise pierces a portion of it. Okay. Alright, next. Oh, is that your turn?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay. Romulus, you are up. And Kay, you will be up next.
Very well then, Romulus. I could just deal with this one. If I try and go round, is it possible for me to get near to that one?
It is. You'll be looking at dexterity saving throws for
25.
each of these tiles that have slime on it. So it'll be
Do
1
I
and
get
2.
advantage on those because of my danger
Yes,
sense?
because you can see. So you'll have advantage from danger sense. So you'd
Interesting.
have 1, 2. Yeah, only 2 that you'd have to make.
Okay. You guys have got that one right.
I'm prone. The
Yeah.
plague like is just there. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Go for it. Go for it.
Are you sure?
I'm prone. I can't really tell
Alright.
you. but
Well,
you're
it doesn't
doing
matter.
it
My
anyway.
turn anyway. Fuck off.
Go ahead and
Uh,
make me 2 dexterity saving throws, please. First one.
Is the correct reaction. I
You have
approve.
blessed still, so.
I am very blessed.
Yeah, be blessed by me. Sucker.
First one's fine. Second one.
Ooh.
Total.
7 + 1 + 2 at 10.
10. You meet the DC and otherwise manage to avoid getting stuck on that second one behind Vinny. As you step forward into the space, you move past, moving forward, and you are now there with the cystic mutator right in front of you, opposite K.
So I get a +2 to this attack that I'm going to make.
Yes.
Wunderbar.
Are you recklessing?
Oh well, you only live once, sure.
It's okay.
That's a lot of dice.
Oh god.
Oh.
4 + 2 + 2 + 6. 14?
You do still hit.
Oh, thank god.
I mean, I hit it on an 8, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This thing's AC is 6, so, you know.
But it's depressing that yeah, everything.
So
So that's 10 plus
16
4 plus 2.
damage.
So 16 points of smack damage.
Okay. You otherwise swing down with your maul, striking against the surface of it, splatting it for a moment as portions of it begin to split off, and it begins to try and pull itself back together as best it can. It is hurting.
Okay. We've established that trying to hammering horns these ones is not a good idea.
From what you
It's
can
different than the others.
It'll go one of 2 ways.
tell. Could go one of 2 ways, you'll have to find out. Yeah,
Just
because
remember, you can't make a handkerchief out of it.
All right. I'll try and pierce the bubble.
Go ahead, make me an attack roll with advantage with hammering horns.
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking drown inside this fucking thing. I'm telling you right now.
Still
oh
hits.
god, it still hits, but Jesus Christ, that's depressing.
And 3 points of piercing damage.
At 5 because of the.
Oh, because of rage, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Striking forward with your horns, you pierce what little bit of it you can, and you note that there's no acidic nature to this, or not nearly as much acidic nature to this one as there were on the previous ones. Doesn't seem to be as caustic. As you otherwise tear your horns back, tearing off small portions of it and scattering it behind, you feel alright. It's not a bad thing. Okay. It is now Kay's turn.
Alright. I suppose I am going to try and roll a stealth check for this man's.
He's currently focused on the Jambie at the moment, so
I just want to make sure
Okay.
he doesn't see me attacking this thing, because I'm trying not to die.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Roll this too.
Yep, you got the bless, so it counts. Oh, no, bless only doesn't work on
Oh, yeah,
ability
that's
checks.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's...
Okay. In the heat of battle, you're pretty confident you're able to keep yourself kind of stealthy and away from this in the moment as you prepare. I will say that will have used your bonus action in this instance, as it's not to hide from the creature, it's to hide from your ally.
Yeah. I don't want him to see.
Yeah.
Alright. In that case...
That hits, doing...
9.
9...
No, 10.
10 points of damage. Okay, this thing is royally hurt. As you take a swing with your tail, it otherwise strikes into it again, contracting as it's in quite a lot of pain now. this time removing your tail quickly. It's getting very close. Okay.
Oh no.
Here's the Jambie's turn.
Oh no.
The Jambie is, instead of attacking you, Damian, despite you being on the floor, it's going to take a swing at the Plague Knight, because it took quite a lot of damage from the Plague Knight, and it hasn't been successful against you. Okay. Attack versus the Plague Knight. That is a hit versus the Plague Knight. And he takes 3 points of damage, which I take away from his temporary hit points first. I forgot something I'm supposed to be doing for this entire fight. It's fine. I've remembered now. Hopefully I remember for the future.
Oh.
The guard is suffering from levels of exhaustion because you guys didn't let him sleep.
Oh yeah.
So actually that would just be ability checks for the moment. It doesn't affect attack rolls, so never mind. Just means that his perception is down to a 7.
I'm
Nice.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Wait, what's my passive stuff?
Plenty.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, it's plenty. Okay. So, with that being the Jambie's turn, doing damage there, it's not smart enough to do anything fun. Alright, Plague Knight's turn. Plague Knight is going to go ahead and take a swing.
Smash it.
That is a hit. That is, 10 points of damage. Nice. Okay. Taking a hit versus it, it's looking royally hurt, but not near to down just yet. And he is going to move round and attempt to get opposite. Does he succeed his dex save? Yes, he does. Probably should have done that first, but he's going to go there otherwise. Okay. Now facing you, Damian. Okay, Damian, it is your turn.
Yay. More disadvantage mace time.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll at disadvantage. You do have a +2
Try
because
to
of
sneak
your because of the Plague Knight. So bonus +2
On which bit? On the roll?
on the attack roll.
On the
roll?
attack roll.
Yeah.
Cool. Not
So
damage.
even on a very low roll, you could still hit it. Not low rolls though. Okay.
That's a 13 with
So-
8 damage? 7 damage.
7
Seven
points of
bludgeoning.
damage. Okay. Oh nope, wrong monster. Would help if I did the right one. Okay. Taking a swing versus this one again. This one is a strong strike versus a kneecap this time. Chopping that off on the opposite leg as it begins to stagger backwards and forwards, very much wounded and ready to die and fall over. Okay. End of that. Lloyd, it is your go. Inferno! It's
Where do
your
you keep
go.
going?
Or do you want to charge it?
Yeah, he wants to charge it.
No.
Yep, you know the drill.
Hey, he's still prone.
Yeah, he's stuck
Yes,
to the ground.
and I've just attacked it.
Alright. Let's hope he's not as wisdom this time.
He's not as
Let's hope he
wisdomed.
got stupider.
That is a 14.
Believe that meets my DC, damn it. Yeah, it does.
Again,
Oh,
He
wait, no.
wisdomed.
Huh?
My apologies, I was looking at the wrong monster. That is... it's worse. Done it. That's a 13.
Ah.
That does not meet my DC.
Done it. Okay. I was looking at the Mutator and I was like, I did it. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Lloyd out wisdoms the Jambie.
Well,
Oh, 12. Okay. So that reduces it to 0. Does it make its con save? That meets it. So he is back up on 1 hit point.
Favoritism.
Keep saying that. Look, he failed his wisdom save. It's good enough that he took the damage, alright? Okay.
I
As you,
guess-
as you otherwise kind of stroke your fingers across the edge of your rosary beads and snap your fingers towards it, there's this ripple as you watch as the flesh begins to fall off of it, and what's left is the casing of this almost strange, vibrant green slime. And you watch as it begins to almost crumple for a moment before it holds itself in motion, beginning to attach more of the flesh to it, almost burning it to keep itself alive.
Halving a 5-foot MS creature does not make it 0, right?
Correct.
Okay. Alright, Damian, it's time to get up. Enough laying down.
What?
You're just telling him that as a bonus action?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. End of Lloyd's turn. It is the Mutator's turn. The Mutator in its current position, before it moves, is going to use Rancid Vent. I would like Vinny, Romulus, and Kay to all make me Constitution saving throws, please.
Huh.
Should have foreseen this.
Um,
Alright, well.
At least it's
I
not
guess
aiming at
I'm-
me.
You get to add the bless to it though.
You get to add the
Alright.
rest to it, that's true. Is there a reason you're rolling the d6?
I am adding the.
You can choose to add the inspiration after you see what you roll.
Oh, I
So
can.
I'll take it away
alright.
for now, yeah. So, yeah. Just let me know.
18?
If you want to add it, that's up to you.
On.
It's a 9 for me. I'm assuming this fails.
Yeah, I'm gonna add the d6 to it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, 9 does the fail, Romulus.
18.
Success, okay.
16.
Success.
17.
Success. Okay, so, Romulus and Kay, you each take 3 points of poison damage. And Vinny, you take 6 and are poisoned. You watch as from each pore on the surface of it almost forms these spherical holes that begin to form on the outside of it, and as it does so, you watch as almost this bubbling interior goes up and outwards and permeates the immediate surroundings as you are all hit by this to a certain extent. Breathing in at least a little bit of it, but most of you cover your mouth. But Vinny, as you're otherwise there, you almost trying to avoid stepping back and away from it reflexively, you forget to cover your mouth in that moment and take a big inhale of it, and you begin to feel your brain become dizzy. And you are poisoned. It is then going to take its 5 feet of movement to slip between the portcullis.
How much was that?
3 for you and 3 for Kay, 6 for Vinny.
Okay. I would like to opportunity attack. That
Yep.
is disadvantage.
Disadvantage because you are poisoned, yep.
I would also like to. Well, wait, no, it's not out of my range.
It's not out of your range yet, no.
And,
Yep.
apologies.
That's fine.
Oh, for God's sake.
Okay. Yeah, you miss. Natural ones would mean I get to attack you back, but it has no melee attacks, so it can't. So. Rancid Vent doesn't count. So. So it otherwise slides away. You go ahead and take your swing, but as you do in the poisoned state, you otherwise swing down, swing to the side, and you otherwise are bleary-eyed and otherwise stuck in place. I will say, for a natural 1, you will get the choice. You can either become grappled again, as you step into the goop, or you make an attack roll with disadvantage versus your Plague Knight friend as you are swinging wildly.
Get rid of the witness.
I will become grappled, I guess.
Okay. You become grappled by the slime as you accidentally step back into it in your space, and otherwise you're slightly almost drunk in haze. Okay. Vinny, it is now your turn. Given it has moved twice, the dagger would still be with it actually, so never mind.
Okay. Well, I guess I have to spend my turn trying to get out again then.
Okay. Go ahead and make an athletics check then, please.
An ability checks. That's also disadvantage.
Advantage, yep, because poisoned. You still have bless though, I believe. Oh no, bless wasn't on you. It
I
was
was
on the
never
others.
blessed.
Okay. That is a 10.
That's a 10.
That is a success. You otherwise step up and out. Even in your drunk state, you know what you're doing, and you kind of reach down with the dagger, stick it under, and lever your foot out as you step back onto solid ground, still dizzy and feeling uncomfortable. Okay. Movement and bonus action.
Let's move. Where do I want to move? I'm actually pretty happy staying where I am.
Okay.
Do I want to heal myself?
Cat, you'll be up next.
No. For the moment, I am not going to It's long rest, so no, I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
I don't want to move into this guy's range just to not attack him.
Okay. Cat, you are up next.
Okay. So, part of me's gonna. I just want to do this for the shits and giggles. I feel that this might go horribly though. Alright, so for my bonus action, I'm gonna call Jeff back to me. But on the way through, I'm gonna get him to make a peck against this guy.
Okay.
Well, he's only got 1 HP. It'd be nice if Jeff killed him.
Can
I don't
familiars
know
perform
actually.
an attack action?
I've no idea. I was looking at my sheet that you gave me and it says
I
beak attack.
I know that
wasn't too sure.
I know that they're pretty bad at it if they can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does 1 point of piercing damage. That's all it can do.
Hold on.
Please let that happen.
A familiar can't attack, but it can take
okay,
any other
fair.
action as normal. Yeah, it's just. I
Alright,
guess that's still
then
there.
I'll completely recall him and then. Oh look, I mean, there's 2 guys there. They should be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna homing blade the slime again.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage. Good.
It's 5.
5 points of damage. Okay. Firing the homing blade forward, it sticks into what little of it is left as it is almost, as it's otherwise pulling itself through the portcullis. It's very thin in places and you strike against one of those, taking that moment to separate it as it has to try and reform as best it can. Not very successfully, but it's doing its best. Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, use my bonus action. I've used my action, so that's it.
Okay. Romulus, you're up. And Kay, you will be up next.
Okay then. Well, it seems to me like they've got that Jambie handled. So, time to do the thing I do best, which is smack things.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Actually, here's a question. Is it possible to sidle over there?
You can stand on the barrels. It will be an acrobatics check to see if you can do it without any knocking any barrels off.
I'm just gonna stay here.
Okay.
Everything I tried requires rolling, and that feels rude, but okay. I will be recklessing. I will be attacking. I will be trying to make this thing hurt.
Okay. Go ahead and roll, even though it's rude.
Making me
roll
having
to
to
hit.
roll for my things.
Yeah, you could roll 2 natural ones. Who knows? Yeah.
It does hit.
Doing
11 points of damage.
okay. Taking.
And I think
No, go ahead.
I was also going to hit it, but with my horns.
Taking a swing with your maul, you otherwise swing down against this thing. As you do, your maul clashes against not only the lever but the edge of this thing, and as it hits against it, you watch as the lever pulls down. It's separated into 2 as the portcullis pulls up into the ceiling, tearing it into 2 pieces.
Ooh.
And as your maul collides with the main chunk of it, you splatter into smaller pieces, which you watch as they almost effortless, like with as much effort they can, try to piece back together before going limp and turning into a more liquid form.
I didn't mean to do that.
Okay. Both of
It
the
was cool, but I didn't mean to.
both of the portcullises are up. You now know what the lever does.
Right.
Last
So it's
thing is
dead.
the Jambie. It seems to be dead, yes.
Yes. Is there a route to get next to the Jambie so I can do my horns?
Not
That doesn't
without
involve making
not
this.
without touching any of them. The best you could do would be there, there, and there. You'd only have to make 1.
Okay, I'll make the 1 save and
Go ahead.
see how that goes.
Dexterity save with advantage from danger sense, because you do have light at the moment. So you can
Donga
see.
sense.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. Boop, boop. All right.
And then I do.
Horns.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
That is a 18 to hit. First of all.
Okay, you step
And-
forward and gore it with your horns, and in the moment you watch as you stab into its kind of where its chest area would be, almost expecting to lift it up with your horns. You watch as the arms wrap around the horns and pull itself off as it slops to the ground. Still barely alive on its 1 hit point again.
Oh, fuck. So it was on 6 hit points then.
No, it was on 1 and it saved its fortitude.
Damn it! Damn you! You bastard! Okay, well, that was the end of my turn. Oh, damn you, Jambies. You jammy gits!
They're doing well.
This is why you don't mess with the gunge dead.
Alright,
Fair enough.
So bad.
it's a good one. I'm gonna have to use that in the next episode. Alright. So, next up in the initiative we have Kay. What would you like to do?
I am gonna jump down.
Okay.
I am gonna grab the dagger.
Okay.
I am gonna throw it at the Jambie.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll. It'll have half cover because the Plague Knight is there, but
If I jump back up on the table, will it still have half cover?
no.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm jumping back on the table.
Okay. Yep. 3 plus
3 plus 4.
3 plus 4. It's resistant to the poison, so that will be 8
There is
points
no
of
poison.
damage. Oh, right, because it's a dagger, so 7.
Yeah, 7.
Yep.
Total.
Okay, you throw the dagger forward. As you do, you strike in the moment where it otherwise lands. You watch as it topples and almost where its head is bashes against the floor before it goes limp and begins to dissolve. It is dead.
Why couldn't I do that with a carrot dagger?
Combat is over by the looks of it.
Can somebody help me up?
I'll go help you.
I will assist, but I want you all to
I-
imagine the obnoxious peeling sound that happens.
As you pull him free. Combat is over for the time being, and with the non-hostile environment that you are now in, you are able to quite happily and quite easily separate your friend Damian from the floor. Okay.
Excellent.
Have I right myself?
Okay. Looking around you into the chamber, with the bodies now partially dissolving to a certain degree, you look around what looks to be almost kind of like a storage area of kinds. Currently lying in ruins, given the recent events, what looks to be splatterings of oily, slick ooze coating various sections of the floor and the walls, the stairs, and those that aren't covered in it seem to be covered in a layer of dust. The southern wall seems to be hugged by what look to be 3 long tables, which your party members have been using to traverse the playing the floor as lava for the version of K. And you see
Look,
that
I got flip flops. Okay.
yeah, that's true. With 2 of them jammed together with what looks to be a barrel right in the middle of them, as depicted here. You can see there are a number of papers and a few books that are scattered across the top here, along with a large chest in the corner, which seems to be locked by a padlock in place. You see a portcullis on the far wall, which is now open as the lever has been activated. A number of crates and barrels that are just off to one corner, and all of the lanterns that were hung on the wall seem to have been snapped off and broken by something, while the lanterns that otherwise stand on the table seem to be intact, but you see that whatever crystal was in them has shattered since. All of the books here seem to have layers of dust on them to a certain degree, except for those that have been hit and disturbed.
And destroyed.
The books that are out on the paper, I'm gonna gather up and try and look through when I get the chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just grabbing
cool.
my thing and I'm going back over here.
The
Okay.
ones that seem like the
Okay.
most recently used.
Also, I don't mean to alarm anyone, but I think I may have inhaled something that disagreed with me.
Do we need to send a spider in?
Oh wow.
Can I just check one thing?
Mhm.
I'd like to go over here and see if there's any alcohol in any of these barrels.
You go over to one of the barrels, you kind of try to pry the lid off. Quite a few of them seem to be sealed still. But as you look around, you do find one, and as you otherwise pop the lid off the top, you see that it seems to be water on the inside.
Oh. I'm gonna check the other ones.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check, looking around the rest of them.
Okay, so I'm gathering up the sheets and the paper, the books and the paper that are here.
Okay.
What are we doing about Vinny's plight?
There's nothing I can do.
That is
Do anything.
that is a solid 8.
Okay. Going around the room, slowly but surely, each barrel that isn't opened, you smash the top, look inside, water. With each box, you take the lid off. Barley grain. Put it back down. Go to the next one. Smash. Water. Smash. Barley. You go all the way round, looking through each of them as they are all full of something, with the exception of this one, which seems to be empty, but the lid was also off of it. You see that it also looks different compared to the rest, where these all seem to be like standard shipping stuff, like basic barrels. This one's a bit more, not necessarily decorated, but it seems to be more well reinforced, but it's empty.
There's nothing like build up on the bottom.
Looking inside? No.
I'm gonna have a little look through the bookshelves to see what is there.
Okay. Looking through the bookshelves. Yep, I'll get to it in a moment. You're going to look at the chest, I know.
Yeah.
Looking over the bookshelves and doing as best you can, just kind of looking through the spines. Most of them seem like they haven't been handled in years. You see that a large majority of them, except for ones which have recently been knocked about or covered with goop or anything similar, seem to just be left in place. And looking through the spines, they seem to be various brewing recipes and other bits of textbooks to do with brewing and like the different regions of the world and where's the best place to get hops, where's the best place to get grains and different sources of water, the flavors effects. But none of them have seen use. And looking through all of them, you're fairly certain these haven't been touched in years.
Right, okay.
Okay, what would you like to do?
I am currently sitting in front of this chest to where nobody else can see the lock, and I am going to attempt to pick the lock.
Okay, go ahead. The guard who's standing in the center, or the guy who's standing in the center of the room, kind of holding up his war mace, just kind of, oh. You said you were poisoned?
I think that's what it is.
Alright, give me just a mo, and he places his hand on your shoulder. He's going to expend his last lay on hands points to cure you of your poisoned condition.
Oh. Excellent.
He didn't regain any because he didn't have a long rest.
He didn't get a long rest, no, so he's missing quite a lot.
Do you want... are you alright? You seem quite tired.
Well, I was woken up from my sleep, and we went for a walk and fought something, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get to sleep anytime soon. I can have a drink or something and wake myself up. Oh, hold on. What am I doing? I can have a drink or something and wake myself up, but no, still quite tired.
Are you sure you wouldn't want to maybe go get some others from your order who are, and then have them come in?
I could, but if I go back there, they're just going to tell me to go to sleep and that they'll send someone in the morning, knowing what's happening. They've got ones on patrol at the moment. We don't have anybody to spare for this sort of incursion. That's why we got you guys involved.
All right.
Try for the best we don't drag more people into this.
I'll keep going with you until I'm in a difficult situation. Don't worry, I can hold my own. Just don't expect me to do anything outside of hitting stuff.
All right. Well, there appears to be a box over here.
Yep. What was your thieves tools there, Kay? Yeah, this would be a dexterity check or a thieves tools to try and crack it.
Dexterity check, thieves tools, and it adds my proficiency. So
if you have the proficiency, yep.
I would have the proficiency. That's the one thing we didn't add into
your character sheet.
Yeah.
Right. In which case, I'll make sure to try and add that afterwards.
It is, so that would be 4 plus 2. So 4, 5, 6. So 21.
21. This is versus the chest. The chest having a fairly old lock on it. You kind of use your tail as best you can, kind of tucking it in.
It's my finger.
Oh, it's your finger, sorry. Putting your finger
Yeah,
in there.
my finger morphs into the lock.
Oh, yes. I forgot you can do that. Yeah. Your finger morphs into the lock, kind of feeling around for the different tumbles, making sure not to press anything that you shouldn't or getting your finger trapped. You harden where you need to, press and click before withdrawing your finger, as you otherwise pull the padlock free, and otherwise unhook it, as Romulus, you look over and you see Kay push open the top of the chest. Inside, you see what looks to be the kind of layers of fabric kind of over the top of something that would be greater within the actual chest itself.
I'm definitely removing that fabric.
Okay. Pulling the fabric off the top, you look inside and can see what looks to be a very well made, what looks to be set of 2 large glass beakers, a kind of a glass stirring rod off to one side, a metallic tripod that's kind of, it folds up and unfolds its, off of hinges. You can see what looks to be a mortar and pestle and a variety of pouches and vials containing different, seemingly liquids or solids. You can see what looks to be some kind of white powder, kind of a greyish silver powder, a kind of a lighter orange powder, and then a dark grey powder. And you can see in one of the 2 vials off to one side what looks to be just a clear liquid like water.
I see. Well, I will take the things for investigations later.
Okay. You begin to put them into your pack. Okay. You otherwise wrap them up. For the time being, add alchemist supplies to your inventory.
Yeah, had a feeling.
Yeah. And you may also add as an addition, you have 100 GP of supplied materials of different types.
Wow. Nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
I wish to investigate the lever to see if it may have been moved recently.
Looking at the lever outside of the obvious
not
movement
like
earlier.
immediately when an axe just went straight through it. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
or a
prior
maul
to that.
clipped it. Yeah. In this instance, you
Yeah.
look to see if there's any like handprints or fingerprints, dust that's settled on it. You look at the surface of it. Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Has it been moved recently? Well, the portcullises have opened, so I think so. That is a 12.
Looking at it, other than recently, which makes it slightly harder to tell, you don't think it has. It's got no obvious like fingerprints of it not being in use for a long period of time. It doesn't look like it's been cleaned a lot, but it certainly doesn't look like it's not been used to a certain extent recently. It's not been left in disarray for a long period of time. You'd estimate that maybe somewhere between maybe 3 days to 3 weeks it's been used at some point in that time before it was nudged today.
Hey guys, I think this lever's been used recently.
Blessed would have ended by this point.
Interesting.
Faith would have ended
Well,
by
I
this
mean,
point.
I did just hit it, so that's
Oh no,
quite recent.
before that, but I'm not sure necessarily how long ago. Maybe at most 3 weeks ago. But
Am I correct? That means someone's been down here.
well,
Which,
we did see
considering
some
what we just saw,
skellies.
is it possible that this could be the source?
Could be.
Maybe. It was locked
No.
when we came in, so...
When
Could be.
exactly did the quarantine start happening?
About 4 weeks ago.
So
Close to the beginning. No, correction. It started happening about 3.5-ish weeks ago.
okay, so it is possible that this place was last mucked around with around about that same time.
Quite possibly. It's hard to tell how it's been used often before but with how recently it's been used since, you don't know.
As I'm collecting the paperwork, what's it? Well, I'm giving it a quick fleeting glance. What's it at least
The
pointing
script
towards?
the script seems to be very similar to what you saw on that note prior. So it's quite possibly Elvish or some script therein. It's very
Wait, somebody
curvy,
knows
very
Sylvan,
wavy.
don't they?
Hmm?
Somebody knows Sylvan, don't they?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we don't.
I do.
Yeah.
When we get out of here, I'll get you to give this a look over.
Right,
And
yes. Grab all paperwork.
I thought I've been doing.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
Books and papers.
going to do something very stupid.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lantern, isn't it, Chris?
Yes, but it's empty. Designed for the convenience crystals. The crystal inside has been destroyed.
Fuck! Why can't I just... Damn! I have so much rat oil, but nothing to burn.
Well, no, because
Nothing to
they don't
put-
use oil anymore in the major cities and some of the larger towns.
Right. And none
No.
of these have any have any crystals in them.
No, they've all been destroyed.
And Lloyd got destroyed by a slime in the sewers.
It's
Is it
probably why
possible?
these ones have been destroyed as well.
Right. Well, we know they don't like light then.
I think it's more the crystals or the magical crystals, not so much the light, because they reacted very hostile to the crystal, but not when we had the torches.
Hmm.
And
They didn't
Vinny's light
go after my
things.
dancing lights either.
Indeed.
Hmm. So I think it's more of the crystal. There's something about it.
I don't really know enough about that sort of thing to figure out what that would be, though. Can I take a look over the bookshelves?
Yep, going over and having a look. Kind of looking at what Damian otherwise had looked over. Bookshelves all seem dusty. None of the books have been touched anytime soon.
None of them. Okay.
No, it looks like they haven't been touched for years. And they all
okay.
seem to be on various brewing recipes, nothing special.
Oh, fair. Yeah, if none of them have been touched recently, there's not a lot I can do. There's no way Vinny would know anything about the subject matter. Oh, is the goop on the floor the same or similar as the big slime?
You otherwise crouch down to have a look at it. And as you otherwise as you've been noticing, your friends have been moving over it, kind of taking care not to step in it. It has since lost quite a lot of its viscosity since this event. As you otherwise kind of scoop a little bit off with a knife and peel it, it strings for a bit and then just slops back, but then almost runs. Almost like a non-Newtonian fluid. And in this instance, it seems to have lost a lot of that natural viscosity and tension that it can withhold. And it seems that it's changed since you fought in the combat. Since that thing was, since the Mutator was alive.
Has it been under 10 minutes since we come down here?
Has it been under 10 minutes?
Yeah.
For
sake,
using what, detect magic?
Yeah, because I cast it just before we
Yes, that's
come down.
true. That is
So
true.
is there anything in here?
Yes, actually. Go ahead and make me a
Oh.
perception check to see if you miss anything, notably.
Okay.
Oh, would I be able to see it then too?
You would have missed it during the
Oh.
combat.
4 plus. What is it? Perception or
Yeah.
investigation?
Perception.
Perception. Oh, that's a 3.
3 total?
Yeah.
Okay. Looking
Investigation can do. Perception.
Okay.
No.
looking around the room, you note the general magic. There is one thing which I say that you would just see because there's no way you can miss. The glaring beam that is a massive archway of bright light on this side behind the barrel. Some form of illusion
Did I
magic.
miss that?
You did, because you ran
How
straight
do I
past
miss
it.
It still has a physical effect on me, doesn't it?
You don't know. It didn't seem
Did you
to.
say a teleportation magic?
No, illusion magic.
Illusion magic. Okay.
Illusion.
What is it, cat?
There's illusion magic here.
Where's the illusion?
Yes, Kay wants to
Sure.
touch it.
Is there a door? I'm gonna touch the wall or where the illusion magic is.
Okay. You press past the barrel for a moment. Oh, my mouse is freaking out. You press past the barrel for a moment, and you watch as Cat's hand just disappears through the wall.
Oh, I need to see what this does. I need to touch it. I need to touch in that area. I need to know what it does.
Do you? Though? Do you
Um,
really?
I do. I need to
Okay.
know what it does.
I'm gonna
I need to know.
I'm gonna pop my head through, see what I can see.
Okay.
I will be getting behind Cat to yank Cat back under
That's a good
difficult
point.
circumstances.
I'll stamp
What?
twice if
Oh.
I need to be pulled
Oh.
out.
Ooh.
Oh. What have you
Oh.
done?
Oh no!
Dad, what have you done?
Number 2.
Oh, okay, it's just a vision.
Oh.
It's a room.
Look, it's got books in it, me happy.
Looking in, poking your head in, you see that it is otherwise an unlit interior to this extended place leading on. You see that it otherwise is still, with a thin layer of dust that otherwise clings to the surface here. And as you poke your head through and you kind of take in the surroundings, there's a very faint smell of old paper and almost an alkaline smell, similar to that of spirits. The floor of this place seems to have a few pieces of shattered glass on the interior and a very thin, almost trail of slickness that is very, very thin. Nothing to worry about in this instance of it being something from beyond. You do note that the light from behind you, however, still passes through the illusory wall and into the interior of this chamber, lighting up the floor space before you. You see there seems to be a pulled lantern from the opposite side, which has been pulled down, as well as what looks to be a large round table with 5 accompanying chairs, a desk with its own accompanying chair, and bits and pieces which you can't quite see on the surface of it just yet. And later you will see the bookshelf. But you see the interior of some form of almost home space beyond a small corridor. Kay, as you get closer to it and as you begin to almost focus, now knowing that it's there, you begin to get very dizzy.
Dizzy. Ew.
And you begin to stagger. It seems, and I'll say from this, you also pick up, if you know the magic is there, you are affected by it.
So if I don't know it's there, I don't get
Affected by it.
Okay. Alright. I'm going to Lloyd, can you back up a sec? Let Romulus go in first and I'll follow up.
Oh,
I don't want to
Okay.
be ambushed.
Okay.
Or you
I
can go in.
As
do
before
have to pass.
shuffling. As before shuffling, I'm gonna lay a hand on Kay's shoulder. You doing okay?
Dizzy.
Romulus, will you
I'm
go first?
There's a desk I want to check out.
Be the meat shield.
Okay. What were you going to say, Kay? Sorry?
I was gonna say I'm gonna jump in because I want to see if it has more of an effect of dizziness on me if I.
Oh
Actually,
God!
Yeah,
Are
I
you
see
seeing
that.
that?
Yeah, I'm seeing it as well. Okay. Okay, stepping in, and I'll say with everybody filtering
you
through,
can
you
just
rush
zoom through us,
past.
can't you?
Yeah, you rush past. As you rush past and step into the doorway, the dizziness spikes into an immediate migraine, and there's a moment of your head just piercing with pain. As you step through, and as you get further away, it dissipates, but the residual pain almost feels like it's going still, like a
Does
heavy
it feel
pulse.
the same? Does it feel the same as the pain that I was having when I was near those convenience crystals in the orphanage?
Not quite, no.
Oh wait, no, that's right. I was itching then.
You were itching then, yeah.
There was another time when I had pain in my head. I
There
don't remember
was.
what
There
it
was one other time you had very large pain in your head, but this feels different, almost like a gradual pain that rises and then drops. But it's mostly met by dizziness and almost a disorientation as you go.
Okay, so tingling, feeling, warm.
Okay. As you enter the chamber, Romulus, you look around and you can immediately see a doorway to your immediate left, leading into whatever would be beyond another chamber. What looks to be an opening archway, leading to what looks to be another short corridor and beyond into another room, which currently is lightless, given the source of light is so far behind you now with the Plague Knight. With what light you can see of the interior, you can see that this may have been some form of living quarters or lounge for the most part, with an otherwise beautiful yet dulled writing desk in the corner with what looks to be a few drawers, some papers and books on the top, an inkwell and a magnifying glass, as well as what look to be 2 scrolls of some form. A bookcase that has been regularly used by the looks of it, with only a very, very thin layer of dust. And you can see the chairs are still there, along with what look to be mugs of cold water or drink.
Romulus is definitely going to check if that's alcohol.
I'm actually going to check the scrolls.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna check the paper.
Okay.
Take the ink if there's any.
Who's
and the
coming in
paper.
next? I'll say the...
Up to me.
Okay.
I'm going to move here.
Vinny, are you going in
just
as
to
well?
make room.
I want to check
I
the.
am indeed, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna
The
check
guard
the
is going to stand
bookshelves.
here with the light in this instance.
Yeah, I'm just moving
Okay.
out of the way there.
Okay. I'll say Kay, looking around the corner, you, with the light now peering in, you can see a living quarter beyond.
There might be stuff in here.
Okay.
Okay.
While you go there, the knight's going to stand here and just kind of make sure that you're okay and just kind of turns to you. Call me if there's any problems. You should have some light in there at least now.
So can I say, this person messy as shit.
Yeah, all the beds are. They're unmade.
Okay, well,
This
these
one's
two made an
okay.
effort.
Yeah, they did make an effort. These two, they're just like, nah.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Okay.
Chamber pots?
I see a bucket.
They're buckets.
Damn it.
I,
Those are the chamber pots.
Yes.
Piss buckets.
I just-
Alright.
Yes, bucket.
So we will start with Romulus and Cat. You are the first two in the room. Looking over the desk, you can see what looks to be a few books, kind of on the surface here. They seem one seems to be some form of what looks to be more of a ledger, with what looks to be kind of a large gap missing in the actual paperwork itself. And as you open it up, you can see that there is a large, probably a good 70% of it that's just been torn out. And you can see that there is one page that's currently half filled that kind of stands out to the rest of it. You see that it is also written in Elvish.
Okay. Well, I guess.
I hate
Uh,
L.
Oh, I can read that.
As you can attempt to read it. We'll get to that in a minute. And the other two things that you find on there look to be scrolls. And as you otherwise, with the detect magic still going, both of them are magical. You also
They're
detect.
magical.
You also detect. Actually, go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Actually, real quick.
Hey.
Am I involved in that or just?
You can grant assistance if you wish.
I'll grant assistance.
Okay, so that's advantage, right?
Mhm.
This is
I
a
think
plus
so.
5, so
Okay.
that's 12.
Okay.
Ugh.
You otherwise note there is also another magical source alongside these two scrolls within the right-hand drawer of this desk. You also note light magical resonation coming from the ink itself as well. You would recognize this as magical ink that can be useful for the purposes of writing and making spells, or spells in your spellbook.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I'm gonna grab some paper and grab the ink if I can. I'm looking in the right-hand drawer.
Okay.
Yeah,
You-
I'm looking at the scrolls to
I'll leave
determine
you to
what
look at
they
them.
are.
They're magical, just to
Why-
let you know.
Go ahead and make me an Arcana check to discern what the scrolls are. To see what magic they might be.
Come on,
Cat,
Romulus.
Go ahead and Cat, as you otherwise pull on the drawers on the right drawer, it's locked.
10.
10. Your understanding of the arcane surpasses you. And at this moment, you are not quite sure what they are, but it's magic. It doesn't seem to be... I'll say that you're vaguely familiar with the scribbles from what Cat's done. Either it's a spell that she does or a spell that she knows.
Hey,
It appears
Romulus.
to run on some kind of magictricity.
Okay. Let's tag
Shall
out
we-
here. Let's swap.
Shall we swap? Right.
Can you wanna fix this drawer and I'll look at the
Yeah,
scrolls?
yeah. I'm a carpenter. Can I just undo the base of this drawer?
Go ahead.
Just like
Go ahead
pull some-
and go ahead and make me a Constitution check, because we don't make those long often enough. Just to try and take the bottom of it off without breaking or damaging the drawer. A use of dexterity and strength.
That's a plus 3. I don't suppose I get to add my proficiency because I have carpenter.
If you're proficient
carpentry stuff?
in carpentry stuff, then yes, you would.
Okay, so that is a 12 altogether.
Okay. In this moment, you otherwise kind of get down, lie underneath the desk, take the wood chisel and the hammer, and you kind of pop out the base of each of them. And as you begin to slide it up, there's a moment where the stuff from the interior does begin to slide around. But as you kind of go to pry on the drawer, you know that you have otherwise knocked out whatever lock mechanism may have been in place, and you otherwise pull the drawer free, seeing on the interior what looks to be a scroll case.
Ooh. I've got a scroll case in here.
Oh, I'm gonna have a look. Is that what's magical?
Yes, definitely so.
That's also magical.
Is that the scroll case itself or what's inside it that's magic?
It's the scroll inside it which is magical, which,
Okay.
as you note, is... what magic would that one be? That one is an abjuration magic, and the two that you have in front of you, Cat, are divination.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look at the scrolls, and if Romulus puts the other one on the desk, I'll have a look at that one.
I will look at the other one on the desk. I
Okay.
will also check the other drawer. Presumably there's a second one on the
Yep,
left-hand
there
side.
is a second drawer on the left-hand side. In this
Shall I just
instance,
Take
you...
the 3 scrolls over here then, onto this table. Throw them out of the way. And give them a read.
We'll save that. I'll get to everybody in just a moment. Cat, in this instance, you take the 2 scrolls, which are the divination magic, you look at them, you know what they are. They're scrolls of comprehend languages. Very useful and single-use abilities if you need the use of it, so, you know, kind of a fast moment, but still, something that's quite useful. The other one baffles you. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, please.
Okay. That is a
Ooh.
21.
Okay. Despite your lack of full understanding to this level of magic, you still look at it, and you've done some studying ahead of time in preparation for your learning to proceed. You otherwise look over it. It's a scroll of arcane lock.
Ah. Huh.
So you can add it to your spellbook next level and onwards, if you wish to do so.
Ooh. Excellent, okay.
But you have a scroll of arcane lock, and as you otherwise kind of look over it, you don't necessarily recognize the symbols and stuff. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but it's... You've seen this sort of thing magic before, especially seeing as it was locking the way in.
Hmm. Okay, right.
Okay.
Will add...
While you're looking at that, Romulus, I'll get to you in a moment while you're working on the other drawer. Vinny, is there anything you would like to do in this instance?
A couple of things. The lanterns in this building, in this room, also
Shattered and destroyed, yeah.
Interesting.
Notably, when you've got the ones on the tables, the crystals has been destroyed and they're otherwise okay. The ones that are on the walls have been pulled off by a heavy force, or presumably a careless one.
Okay. Oh, when you said the crystals are destroyed, is there any like residue of them, or?
You see chunks, but you also know that it's effectively it's not very valuable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anything else?
I'm going to turn to the guard very quickly.
Okay.
I just want to check something. Could you speak out loud for a couple of seconds?
Sure, that shouldn't be an issue. Why? What kind of information are you looking at?
Anything's fine. Just keep doing it.
Oh, okay, sure.
I'm going to step outside, out of the illusion.
Cuts off.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to step back in. All right, thank you. Couldn't
Okay.
hear anything.
Oh, so it cuts off sound as well. Does it work both ways?
Let's find out. That is a good question, actually. It would make sense for it to work both ways, I guess. How was that?
We heard all of it.
Okay. Oh, can we see out from it?
Yes, you can. You can see out, and he could hear you from the inside.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, Lloyd and Damian, what would you like to do? I assume you're looking through books?
I'm looking through the books. And the scrolls from the book of it.
No, they're just books on there. The scrolls are on the table. Go ahead and roll me investigation checks, the two of you. Whoever gets the higher wins.
Ding, ding.
Okay. Infernal, what was your investigation check? What did you say? You're quite quiet.
13.
13. Okay. And Damien?
Yeah, that's better than me. I got 10.
Okay. Looking through the books, you see a large number of them seem to be business ledgers. Most of them are unused, with nothing written in them. You see some fictional books and some casual reading, it would seem, in this particular part. But Lloyd, you notice something in particular. I'm going to send this to you privately, because why would I? Why would I? Why would I allude to this?
Gonna be more smart, is it? Interesting.
Okay. Do you pocket them?
I shove them in the bag. Continue as if I'm looking for some the leaf.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check. This will be versus Damien's passive perception, which is 12.
Okay then.
Damian,
Fail.
you note Lloyd as he's going through. You watch as he kind of looks around the group, and you watch as he takes a bunch of books and he just puts them into his satchel.
I just look at Lloyd and genuinely assume that what he's doing is perfectly fine, and just sort of make sure that he knows I've known without anybody else noticing.
A little rude, but okay.
Okay. How do you go about this?
I just sort of gently tap him on the arm.
Okay.
Lloyd goes, ah, shit, fuck.
Okay. You tap him on the arm. The two of you kind of exchange a glance. You note a slight mischievousness in Lloyd's eyes before he kind of goes back to looking. Okay.
There's nothing on the leaf cutters here.
Doesn't look like it, no. Okay. Kay,
Alright,
you have a room to yourself.
I do. But I also heard something. I heard somebody say divination and a scroll. So I'm walking in here and I'm grabbing one of these scrolls that have divination because I want to see if it does the same effect as a divination spell. And then I'm going to look in the room.
Okay, so you wander back in. You see
I
Cat.
grab one of these.
Okay, you otherwise climb up onto the table. Cat, you watch
Oh,
as... Yep, Infernal's heading off.
Cool.
Yep, you just let me know. You see your Cat. You see Kay climb and clamber onto the table and reach over to grab one of the scrolls. Do you let him?
No, I'm concerned he's gonna eat it. What are you doing?
It helps see better. I want to see if it works as scroll.
This helps you comprehend languages, not see better.
It helps me see better. I see more with divination.
Divination. Okay. How? Are you gonna cast it?
No. I just be near it.
Okay, I'm gonna. Right. I'm just gonna hand it to him and just watch this process happen.
Okay. You hold onto the scroll. Doesn't seem to have any effect.
Aw.
I think the spell might have to be active.
Maybe. Scroll doesn't work like I hoped.
Next time I cast a divination spell, I'll let you know.
Oh, I'll know.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back in here and take a look.
Okay. Just gonna look around the room. Oh, I assume somebody. Yeah. Okay. So Romulus, go ahead and roll me another Constitution check for using your woodcarver's tools or carpenter's tools to break into the next room.
Oh, for some reason my mic got muted. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. We'll get back to you in just a minute. Ah,
Oh,
perfect. You know what you're doing this time. You take the wood chisel, you bap it once, and you watch as the front panel falls off, like narrowly misses your horns and just kind of falls to one side. As you then kind of pull yourself back up, take a look on the inside, and you see in this one what looks to be a box and what looks to be a key.
I put the key in the box.
Okay,
If
so you
the
take
box has a keyhole.
you take the box out. It just seems to be a simple lid. Doesn't have a key that
Okay.
goes to it. The key seems to go to something else, a larger lock of some kind.
Alright, I pick up the key. I'll give it a
I
look.
bet you it's that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I'll open up the box, see what's inside.
Okay. Looking inside the box, you see what looks to be kind of a velvet-lined box. It's a nice crafted box, kind of a wooden design on the exterior, and the lock that you otherwise busted out from the front of the drawer seemed to be a lot better than the previous one.
Oh.
And you do note that there seems to have been a misfired and now disabled trap attached to the surface of that lock.
God, I fucking love going the wrong way to open a fucking drawer.
But as you otherwise lift the box open and see the otherwise very well lined interior, you see that there is quite a bit of gold in here. More than you've seen in quite some time.
Well, Well, as if Lloyd's taught me anything, I put it directly into my bag.
Okay. Okay. With the rest of the party busy doing their own thing, I'd say, Vinny, you're the only one who could see, so make a stealth check versus Vinny's passive perception.
Alright.
Which is 13 versus...
My stealth is +2, so that is an 8.
Okay, Vinny, with the resembling sound of a crack, you look over and kind of watch with amusement as what Romulus does, as he kind of puts his hand in, pulls out a box, lifts the lid for a moment, kind of closes it, and just tucks it in his pocket, in his pouch, and you can hear the vague sound of metal hitting wood as he does so. You also see him take out a key and tuck it in the box.
Right.
Okay. Ooh, Romulus, you found a clue?
I've got a key to something.
Yeah, I will look at him with a sort of smile on my face, raise one eyebrow.
Yes.
Key? I wonder if it's to the box out there.
That would be quite convenient.
I wonder if we could
The thing is, you've made a classic blunder there, Vinny. You asked if there was a clue. So Romulus does not even have any thought at all of the coins, because that's not related to us finding shit. He's just going, the only clue I found is this key. I'll open up the box, take
Okay.
the key out, hand the key to you, and then put the box back in my bag.
Okay.
Very nice. So you didn't find anything on the money?
Oh no, there was nothing in the money. I'm just keeping this in here because why wouldn't I?
I'm going to have you roll for
Face-
deception. That's just great. That line alone.
Face palm. It's like,
No.
oh.
I said that there is money in there. I just didn't find any clues in the money. I wanted to be very clear. Romulus does not see himself as doing anything wrong. It's just like going, I took the money. There was nothing other than money in there. I put it in the bag.
Looking at him completely like, yeah, okay, he's not understanding the social etiquette or the implications here.
Damian is looking and thinking, maybe a magician, somebody who uses magic should try to detect whether there's anything on the money.
Do I see
Um,
anything?
Are you going to look at the money that's in the box, or
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm
You
just
didn't
looking at
detect magic earlier, so
no? Detect magic is the ritual from earlier. It's still going
Mm.
yeah.
because Kay hasn't taken any damage, so there's no reason for
I
concentration on
mean,
that.
I will just have a look. I mean, I don't care too
I-
much. I mean, I've never really cared about money. I've seen money. Money's money. So, yeah. Is
Damian's
there
not
anything
talking about
magical
money at
about
the
it?
moment either.
Yeah. Yes.
Doesn't
I
seem to
don't
be,
think
no.
I heard you correctly when you actually said it. Because what I heard was did you find any clues in the money? And that's so I genuinely responded as I thought that no, there were no clues in the money.
But this work is much better line. Oh man. Okay. No, but with the detect magic up, you can't seem to detect any like faux magic in the money at all, or anything of the sort. So it seems to be
Hey,
okay.
Romulus, just
Mhm.
to let you know, that is real money. It's not fake.
Oh, that's good. Right.
Sweet. Okay, should we go check the other room?
Yeah, that was my plan.
Yeah.
Okay, Kay,
Oh,
you've
sorry,
had
Vinny. I was just gonna
sufficient
pick up
time in
Vinny,
there.
move you out of the way, and then keep going.
Yeah, Kay's had sufficient time in there. So Kay, what would you have liked to have done during this time?
I would. These are like dresser things, or are these just
Bedside
boxes?
tables, yeah. They're bedside tables,
Okay.
which some of them have lanterns on, one of them seems to not.
Do they have like any drawers or anything?
Looking at them, no, they just seem to be stools. If you want to make a general, like a passing perception for the room or investigation for more depth stuff, you're welcome to. Passing perception will
Yeah,
help you
I
find
want-
stuff where you're looking. Investigation will help you find something specific in that area.
I just want to see if I can find anything in this room.
Okay,
That's my main thing.
make me a perception check then, please.
No! Oh my god! All right, I give up.
You look around the room. You see the unmade beds. You see the buckets. Buckets smell funny.
Oh no.
You you're in. I can't say it.
Don't do it.
You're intrigued with the buckets as you go over and you see kind of just empty buckets, but they smell weird. There's like
Alright, well,
there's moments of weirdness as
this-
you go over to some of them. You kind of look at them, you lift them up, kind of. They smell weird to you.
alright, well, there's nothing really interesting in the room since they're empty, so I'm gonna leave the room because
Okay.
there's nothing here.
We all enter.
The rest of the party begins coming towards you.
I'm just walking by.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything.
You still holding the bucket?
No, I put the bucket down. It was
It was
had
empty.
an interesting. It had a interesting smell, but there was nothing in it. It was
Mhm.
useless. I don't want an empty bucket.
Okay. The rest of you see
If it
Kay,
had stuff
otherwise
in
leave
it,
the room.
maybe.
Lick the bucket.
You lick the bucket.
He might.
No, I'm the devil on your shoulder. Lick the bucket.
You lick the bucket.
Yes, you lick
Kay's
the
reply
bucket.
is to the devil, you lick the bucket.
It's just as he's walking past us, just hitting, you lick the bucket. It's like, what bucket? Huh? What do you mean? There's no bucket.
Become one with the bucket. You know you
At
want.
this point,
You are a bucket.
the guard's face
What
with bleeding
bucket?
eyes makes so much more sense.
It's like, what?
Uh,
Just like, please, I don't have to put up with this shit. I'm tired. I need to get a moment of sleep.
no, that's
There's
fair.
beds in there if you want to sleep.
And now there's this crazy thing walking past me saying, no, you look the best.
Hmm. So,
Not simply lick the bucket.
so you see, yep. So you see Kay leave the room and just go, no, you lick the bucket.
Romulus, I think he wants you to lick the bucket. When we get in there, I'm gonna have a look around for anything magical.
if it appears sanitary, I may be willing to lick the bucket.
I don't even know where this bucket is.
So you're going in there to have a look to see if there's anything magical.
Yep.
I'm just going in to just see what's around.
Okay. Beyond the small corridor, it seems to be otherwise open, but otherwise cluttered room. You see it contains 4 unmade beds, somewhat disused, each of which seem to have what look to be their own kind of simple wooden bedside table. But some of them share what looks to be, or all of them seem to share a single wardrobe that's opposite the main entranceway. You can see there's a bucket accompanying each bed. And around the room there are a number of lanterns, which have all, most of the ones that are on the wall have been wrenched from it, and those that are on the bedside tables seem to be sat there, but without crystals within them. Looking around the room, go ahead and make me a perception check for any magical items, or you specifically your detect magic stuff.
That is a 9. Perception. Yeah, 9.
Looking around the room, nothing that catches your attention. No, nothing magical.
Hi. Okay, I'm gonna go and see if I can open the wardrobe and what's in there.
Okay.
I will stand next to Cat because I was heading in that direction too.
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
You pull the wardrobe
Grab one
open.
handle each.
Okay.
Yep.
You pull the wardrobe open. You see that there are a number of what look to be just kind of basic clothes, kind of white long tunics, kind of basic black trousers. You can see cloaks and capes that are in there as well, kind of covering the person's main form. And you don't seem to see anything of intrigue, just general clothes.
Are there any shoes
Okay.
for a case-sized person?
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
He knows what he's looking for. He's like, flip-flops,
Yeah.
just not good.
Yeah, where he's
Today
running around in
needs to wear
flip.
something more
He's running around
sturdy.
in flip-flops. Let's give him proper shoes.
Is a 15.
Okay, looking around, there does seem to be a small pair of shoes. Whether they'll fit K perfectly, probably not, but they may fit K.
Right, I'm grabbing those.
Okay.
Just holding those whilst I look around.
Okay, you grab those shoes. Okay. Anything else you'd like to do, Romulus or Vinny, or Damian?
I was about to say, I wonder if there's anything inside any of the cloaks and stuff in the cupboard, like hidden in pockets or stuff.
I'll say you rifle through. There doesn't seem to be any pockets on the surface of them, and as you kind of look through, there doesn't seem to be any kind of special symbols or anything on any of it either.
Are these just tables, or does
They're
they
just
have-
tables, yeah.
Right. In that case, I'm just going to lift up all the mattresses, see if there's anything underneath. Just
Okay.
a tendency of people tend to put things under mattresses.
Like
Worth a check.
You go over to one of the beds, you kind of lift the mattress up. Nothing under the mattress, but underneath the slats of the bed, you do see a chest underneath the first one.
Oh.
Go ahead and roll me a D4 for me, please.
Is this the amount of damage I take from looking at the
Nope.
chest?
This is the one that. This is the one that you find, because I'm going to assume you're going to go to every bed and find each of the
I
personal chests
absolutely
to
am,
each
yes.
bed. Yeah. Okay. So you find that one first. Okay. You otherwise see the chests. They seem to be simple wooden chests. Looking at the surface, they have a simple lock, but they have no key.
Well, I wonder if that key's multi-purpose. I doubt it.
When you say that, do you mean that there's no keyhole, or
There
there is no
there
key?
is a lock, but there doesn't seem to be a. Well, then there's a keyhole, but there doesn't seem to be a key accommodating it. And
Can
the key
I-
that you have doesn't quite fit. It's too small,
Right.
or too big for this particular lock.
I still got that wood chisel, don't I?
You do. You can try and crack the lock if you want. Okay.
Thing
Go,
is, it's got to be set into wood, so
yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead and make me a Constitution check, please, using your tools.
Am I still blessed? I don't think I am.
No, either way, it doesn't work on ability checks. Only attack rolls and saving throws.
14.
Okay. You kind of take the wood chisel, you hit against the surface of it. There's a cling sound as you break through it, and you hit something on the inside. And as you pull your wood chisel back, you see it's covered in kind of a dark bluish ink.
Oh no. I pull it open. Oh god.
You pry it
Oh,
open,
God.
and you can
Oh,
see
no.
on the inside what looks to be parchment, and what looks to be a notepad of parchment that's now beginning to soak with some
I
of the ink.
take it out as quickly as possible. I do the waving thing.
Mhm.
Oh god, oh god, oh god,
Yep.
oh god.
You wave up as
The
much
ink's
as
getting
you can.
everywhere.
Yep. You see there's a quill. You see there is a quill that seems to be untouched by it, and 2 bottles of ink that have been cracked, both of which are now emptying into the bottom of the box. You also see what look to be a number of papers that the ink is beginning to spill over and covering the writing and symbols on the surface of them.
Yeah, I'm grabbing those off as quickly as I can.
I'm going to pull out a bottle as fast as I can. Ink! I need this for my runes.
Can you
And it's broken. That's 2 bottles of
Okay.
ink you don't have. Hmm?
What? Oh, it was me that was DCing. Okay,
Oh, fun.
I DC'd. Yeah.
Okay.
Damian's
Odd.
noticed this going on, and it's like,
You like paper and ink. I take the ink stained mess and just put it in Cat's hands. There you go. There
Okay.
you go.
I can't. What have that?
You can fix this, right?
No. This is. This is. Oh, this is just terrible. I can't fix this.
Add 2 pieces of parchment to your inventory, as a large portion of them have been damaged now.
Well,
and the 2
excellent.
ink bottles have been destroyed, and the ink is ruined.
Oh, how much
Damian-
did I get from the desk earlier
You
on?
got 1 from the desk earlier.
Okay.
Is any of the paper legible?
From the
I'll have a look.
ones that Cat's looking over.
Yeah,
the one,
from
yeah,
the chest.
the ink ones.
Go ahead. I'll say, Cat. Go ahead and make me an intelligence check
Okay.
as you've pulled those pieces of paper free. The DC has increased given that they have had ink spilled on them.
That is 19.
19. Okay. And because this is in fact an Arcana check, you would also add, that would be 21. So even though the DC has increased, you see that whatever these were, they have now been ruined, but they were previously incomplete spell scrolls. And you can see that the 2 spells that were being scribed have now been ruined and destroyed as part of this.
Okay. Might I suggest, being a bit more careful? Like maybe take the hinges off or something, Not so much the lock.
Damian has
If there's any others.
If you've got lock boxes that need dealing with, I can take a look.
Yes, please.
Actually, yeah, if you want to come in here, there might be some more under other beds.
Yeah, Damian
Yeah.
was going to check. Hang
Go
on, which bed was checked
sideways.
first, by the way? I just want
This
to...
one.
This
Sure.
one in the bottom corner.
I will say,
Okay, he's going
checking
to
all
nearest
the
bed.
bets.
He's checking
Okay.
that bed.
Damien,
Maybe
go ahead
check
and
it.
roll a d4 and re-roll any 2s that you get. Cat, if you want to check this one, and
Yeah.
Romulus or Vinny, which one of you want to check the last one?
I'll check
Rerolling
that.
any 2s?
Re-rolling any 2s that you get, yeah. Then let me know what your result is first there.
It's a 1.
It's a 1, okay. And re-roll 1s and 2s for you there, Cat.
I've got 1.
Re-roll the 1s.
I have
4.
4.
Okay, and that means that Vinny, you will get number 3. Okay, so you had 1 there, Damien.
Yes.
Okay, you pull the box free. It looks to be similar as the other ones, and it has a kind of a simple lock on the surface of it. Doesn't seem to be very complex, but you do see that it is a bit more of a more well-worn box compared to the other ones.
Huh. It's a bit more well worn. That's curious. Bear with me as I have a quick look at things.
I will say, Vinny, given that you're the one who can potentially undo locks via Thieves' Tools, we'll go to you next. You got, what one you were doing, number 3, correct?
I would have been number 3, yes.
Yeah. You-
Romulus gave me the key, I believe.
Hmm?
Sorry, go on first.
No, he gave you the key. The key is too big for any of these locks.
Okay, cool.
Otherwise, looking at this one, it seems to be a much more kind of sturdy box with kind of a metal rim around the outside of it, kind of holding it in place. But the lock seems to be the same as the others.
Okay, this one might be more important, or its owner might have just been more cautious.
You just hear behind
Move
as
away.
Damian just uses his mace and breaks the tries to break the chest.
Make me an
They're
attack roll,
thinking there.
please.
I'm going to scream.
Okay.
Right,
That is
What we're gonna
potential
do-
healing for you guys.
Each one of those vials is like, what, 2d8 healing gone?
Yeah, that's pretty
What-
much it.
What we're gonna do?
My magic's expensive.
Alright, go ahead and make me an attack roll then, please, Damien.
An attack roll with my is it this red dice.
Yep. I'm not too worried about the damage, I'm just more worried about the hit. Yeah, okay.
It's an 18.
Yeah, taking it easily, you otherwise take the mace, and with a well enough and an accurate enough hit to surpass the DC but not hit anything on the inside, you break the corner hinges, and you otherwise pry the top off as it pops. The interior of which you see looks to be a number of what looks to be drawn pictures, or kind of sketches, of what looks to be by your standards, a particularly beautiful elven lady wearing various dresses, jewellery, and they all seem to be the same with different hairstyles and some with children as well. Potentially family members or someone related to whoever this may have been, or potentially someone they liked, or you're not sure. You also see alongside it what looks to be a pouch of some form, kind of a wrapped fur leather pouch of some form with kind of a twine wrapping, and what looks to be a very well-carved pipe.
Ooh, ooh. And hang on, was it a particularly well carved pipe?
Yes, like a smoking pipe.
Right. Well, the pipe seems useful. Character developments occurred. Damian's going to get addicted to tobacco.
Or whatever leaf is in that wrapping.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Remember, this isn't the real world. There's a lot more
I'm going to
than
check
that.
what's in the pouch.
Okay. You check what's in the pouch, and you see what looks to be kind of a dried brownish leaf. I'll say go ahead and roll me either a nature check or a medicine check, given your background.
Right, bear with me. Let me just finish typing that. It's got a brownish leaf. A nature or...
Or a medicine check, your choice.
I think that'll be a medicine check. That's an 11.
Okay. Looking over it, you're fairly certain this is just regular tobacco. Nothing special about it. It looks like the regular stuff. It's quite dried, and by the looks of it, it's quite old. Seems like an old supply of some form, but it still could be used for pipe smoking.
Okay, I think I'm happy with that.
Okay.
And I take the pictures too.
Yep. Okay. And then with Vinny, you had your one. How are you getting into your box?
I'm going to attempt to use my thieves' tools to pick the lock.
Okay. Try and pop the lock. Go ahead and make me a thieves' tools check.
Okay.
Okay.
That should be +5.
Yep.
Assuming it's dexterity.
Yep.
So 17.
Simple lock. You kind of pop your thieves' tools in and pop. The lid kind of pops up nice and easily. You lift the lid up and look inside, where you see with this reinforced box, it otherwise has a kind of a layer of kind of a softer lining, not necessarily velvet, but kind of a spongy lining nonetheless. As you see 4 empty vials along the interior, followed by a final one which contains what looks to be a silvery liquid of some form. Not entirely sure what. It looks almost like mercury in that regard. As you kind of look over it, it's kind of it's silvery with a little bit of transparency to it. And you see what looks to be a metallic mouthpiece and a bit of rubber tubing.
I'm ashamed I'm not seeing it, but I think I know what that might be to do with.
Cat, you like empty vials, right?
Hmm?
And what about vials filled with mysterious fluids?
Well, I've got multiple. I've even got some mysterious fluids that come from our friend Lloyd. So why not add it to the rest of my mysterious fluids?
I've got one more
Damian
for you
have
over here, though.
Okay, I'll grab that in a second. I'll just try and open this, or if you want to open it, and saves me having to blow it up potentially.
Damian
Yeah,
have,
why don't you take a look over here, see what you make of it?
Okay, I will. If it's under there, I'll scooch to here.
Yeah, you pass the
see
box
hands off.
and you see hands off the vial. What were you going to say, Damian?
I was going to say, can I have a quick look so that I actually notice what's in it? At least what colour it is.
You see the
Or
silvery
you can
liquid,
be next to me while I'm flailing around in
Yeah,
there
I'll
trying to work it
try and-
out.
Yeah.
The last lock while this is
Didn't
happening.
we
Okay.
find a yellowish silver colour crystalline residue in the vat? And that's silver.
Go ahead and make me a thieves' tools check there, Vinny.
Maybe.
I'm just wondering if it might be the liquid form of whatever we saw which was crystalline in that vat upstairs.
Ooh, that's not so
Quite
good.
possibly. I have got samples
Yeah,
of
I think
it,
it's DC. Simple lock.
so I can probably match the two. I'll do a little bit of experimenting with it anyway.
You could have a look. You could see if that's the case. I wonder if it is.
Okay.
Vinny, as you pop the lock on the last one, you look inside and you see what looks to be kind of a bundle of rolled up clothes of some form.
Nice.
Any particular style to these clothes?
You kind of take it out and unfurl it.
Yep.
Okay, taking it out and beginning to unfurl it. As you lift it up and begin to unfurl it, you feel harder objects on the inside that's wrapped around something. And as you kind of carefully unwrap it, falling into your hands, you find 2 syringes, both of which are filled with what looks to be almost an acidic kind of bright yellow substance or liquid, and what looks to be a rolled up piece of paper that goes with. You recognize it as again being written in Elvish. The shirt, on the other hand, it's pretty nice. It might replace yours, given yours is currently quite bloodstained. It's more of an elven make, kind of a bit of a snugger fit, but still kind of good for a lithe body like yourself. A little bit long, but you know, you could play it off quite nicely.
It's just like casual everyday clothes.
Yep, seems like it.
Okay. I will pocket the shirt.
Mhm.
I will bring the note and the vials over.
Okay.
More liquids.
These ones are in
Okay.
syringes.
Yellow in
note.
these ones.
Oh, they're in syringes. Okay.
Correct.
Some of the ink spilt paper I'm going to just wrap around them. Just to make sure.
Okay. Make sure that the glass doesn't break?
Oh, 1, the glass doesn't break, and 2, you know, they're not going to just stab into random stuff.
There doesn't seem
If
to be a cap for them.
No, that's what I'm using the paper for. I'm going to wrap loads of paper around them. Of the ink-stained paper.
Okay.
Oh, what, the needle part? There's no needle part. Oh, right, okay. I thought you meant no cap for the needle. Right.
No, there is no cap for the needle. If you're wrapping paper around the needle, how are you going to stop it
Around
from...
the whole thing.
Okay. So the needle
a
part would
cracker.
still be exposed if it were to be, like, pressed against something.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I
when you
do.
say around the whole thing, I think what Jamie's referring to is sort of wrapping up in it as a tube, so
Yeah,
that
like a cracker.
and presumably the paper is longer than the syringe. That way, as long as it's wrapped tightly, it won't be able to
So like
stab
that?
anything.
Yeah, essentially, and so the paper will be round the entire thing. The two will
Okay.
be together and then wrapped up in
Okay.
the paper.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Any excessive force applied will still obviously crumple the paper, but then gentle force won't.
No, that's fair.
Okay, that's fine.
I haven't got anything solid. Unless... Are they bigger than Romulus's coin box?
No.
Oh, okay, fair. Then no. I could say if they were bigger, I was going to say, Romulus, put your coins in your coin purse and let me take the box. Like, completely oblivious to the fact that, you know, he's
Well,
quite-
surely you'd want
You
them to
said
be...
they aren't bigger.
So
Yeah,
they
we
aren't
want
bigger,
them to
so
be
they
smaller.
can go
we
into
like
the...
them being smaller because then they can go in the box.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I completely misunderstood that. Hey, Romulus, that box you've got with your coins in,
Yes,
if you want to take the coins out, can I have the box, please?
sure thing. I take the coins out.
Okay. Add coins from box to your inventory,
Yeah.
and I will disclose how much it is at a later date.
Yeah.
When you have your next rest and you have time to count it, either in secret or with the party.
To clarify, I will say, as fun as it is to fuck with you all, I will be sharing these. Just
It's campaign
we've
2.
got-
All bets are off. You can steal the money if you want.
Yeah, it's true. I could. Yeah, I'll share this with Cat.
Hey, I can replace my runes.
Seems fair enough.
Some
You
of them.
guys know one another.
Keep you all alive.
Yeah, because I'm sure. Look, Lloyd grabbed his own shit.
I will say, Cat, with the last dwindling bit of your detect magic going off, you look at the syringes. The liquid has a very faint magical sense, but you can't detect what magic type it is.
Okay.
It's one that
Right.
you do not recognize.
Okay, so as I put them in the box, so these things are magical. Huh.
It's faint. It's not like they've been crafted as a magical item. It's more the liquid inside seems to have been made in a specific way to maintain an effect.
I'll have to try and figure that out later.
Think of it like antitoxin.
Has anyone got any toxins in them? Just stab them.
No, that's not what I meant. It's not antitoxin. I just meant figure it like it. So, in the instance, you can detect that antitoxin has a magical effect, but it's not actually
Right.
magical.
Okay, cool. Right. Well, they're in the box. Deal with them at a later date with everything else.
Okay.
Roll on a long rest tonight. Okay.
Okay. So you've added the vial of silvery liquid. You've added the 2 syringes. That's all wrapped up.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all been gathered. Okay. With everything gathered up from the room, giving it another pass once over, you head back. You otherwise meet up with Lloyd. You otherwise head back out of the chamber. And none of you see Kay anywhere.
Oh no.
Oh, where's Kay? Did he go down the path?
Make a survival check.
Can I do survival? I can actually, well, badly. Don't let me be the only person making a survival check. We're doomed.
I will also make
That's
a
a
survival
17.
check.
That's not
Go ahead
bad
and
for
survival
me.
check.
No, 19, because I've got a +1.
Oh no.
Okay. Romulus, as you're looking over, you see obvious footprints leading through the trail of the slime going forward and leading down into the corridor. Cat, you look at them for a moment, and you know that there's something off about them. And as Romulus is panicking, you note that they seem to be going backwards.
Vinny, you know Kay. Something that I've got a feeling has intimidated him, or maybe there's a magic that he's not agreeing with, because they're walking backwards. You can see the front of the foot is deeper than the back, which...
They're in flip-flops. I mean, I was going to give him these shoes.
What?
Yeah.
What way was he going? Sorry.
It was going, it looks like going down
Yeah,
this corridor.
Going down
but
the
he
corridor,
was walking backwards.
you see that he was... Yeah.
Right. Kay, you there, buddy? I call out down the corridor.
Okay. The voice echoes, travelling down. Seemingly no reply.
If he'd
Well.
wandered off, it is in his nature to wander off, but he wouldn't go that far without telling us.
Good to go after him as we.
I think we'd better.
Wonderful.
Okay, so going down the corridor then, I guess.
Yeah.
In desperation to catch up Kay.
Okay. You'll begin to filter down the corridor. I hear typing. Okay. As you all begin to filter down the corridor, as this is all happening, go ahead and make me a perception check. Okay. Okay. You hear the voice of the calling from Vinny. You let it pass, the conversation is had, before you hear the clip and clopping of hooves. Cat, I would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw. I'd also like Vinny
Wisdom?
and Romulus to make a wisdom saving throw as well, please.
Oh, good God.
Your
no.
DC is lower, though.
Oh, no.
Ah, don't worry, I'm really wise.
I am not. That's 10.
That is I think, yes, 9.
And Vinny?
Oh, sorry, it was a 10 for me as well.
Okay. As you're all walking, and Damian, you hear this. Lloyd sees it, and as does the guard. I'm going to ruffle the guard, actually, because he's not going to be in a guard. No, he's fine. He succeeds. As you're all walking along, you hear this ever so slight faint noise, before there's a screech sound, and you watch as lurching from the box, with the lid smashing open against the wall behind, Cade leaps out and onto Cat's back. You all immediately panic, drawing weapons, with Cat panicking because there's suddenly a K-rat on your back.
Oh my God. Look, the fact that there's a rat on Cat's back, she is freaking out something wicked. We're gonna reenact that rat moment.
Okay,
You best not
make-
pin my hair.
Make me a strength attack roll, please, using your hooves.
Oh, I am so bad at this.
Oh, hit
That's
the wrong
not
button.
even, that is the. Oh god, I think my strength is like it's +1, so
14.
No.
14.
You go and you otherwise kind of rear a bit with a little bit of kind of riding and avoiding it. There's a moment where she kind of bucks and kicks. You kind of thread between both legs and you land, kind of 3-point landing on the ground, laughing, with Cat just panicking in the moment. And everybody else has calmed down as Vinny, you've put your weapons away, and Romulus, you probably still have yours out, given your situation.
Okay. Good joke, but if Cat had cracked your head open, you would have absolutely deserved it.
I'm just well. Next time you do that, I will be hitting you in return. I hope that you're aware.
This Cat's an emotional wreck at the moment. It's just doesn't know how to deal with this.
To be fair, Cat, when aren't you?
No. These rats and
Damian's just pretending that nothing ended up happening. Is just still looking down the corridor,
Okay.
more concerned about.
Okay. The guard who is exhausted seems to brush off that you said rats, based on potential previous experience. But he's exhausted and doesn't seem to notice.
there.
And that
Don't do that again.
is where we will end our session tonight, I think.
Never climb on my back.
So,
So disrespectful.
thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And hopefully there'll be less technical difficulties. And we'll see you next week for this to continue. Bye-bye.
Bye.